There shall be a silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. May we be seated? Hi, let's do it. Statements by members. Are there any member statement? Honorable Masilela.
Honorable Speaker, history was in the making as the people of Mpumalanga are still in great exhilaration and pride for the opening of the first and new High Court in the province. President Ramaphosa, accompanied by Premier Refilom Tsipane, on Friday, 8th of November 2019, officially opened the state-of-the-art High Court of Mpumalanga based in Bombela. This High Court is buoyant with modern state-of-the-art technology, which will improve court functioning and usage of IT for filing and speedy resolution of cases. Indeed, justice has finally ascended to the people of Mpumalanga, who had in many occasions spent lots of money traveling beyond our province, seeking for justice on matters that need the High Court intervention. Indeed, legal practitioners are also proud that they will now access a High Court to expand their practices. We are thrilled that there are full-time judges already appointed to preside over cases in this court. We accordingly salute this government of the people for bringing justice closer to the people of Mpumalanga. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Shongwe, the Leader of Government Business.
Bonga kakhulu somlomo, bonga na kumhlonishwa uDeputy Chief Whip we-Majority Party ngalesishukumiso asiphakamisako. Ngicabanga ukuthi wonke umhlali waseMpumalanga uyajabula kakhulu mangabe kulethwa insiza ziletha eduze nabantu, ngoba lenhlangano lephethe lohulumende vele inhloso yayo ukuletha insiza eduze nabantu. Bazawukhumbula abahlonishwa ukuthi uma ngabe bafanele kwenzeke undunankulu athi act, kuyaye kufuneke ukuthi udrive uye ePitori in the past, uhambe uyofunga ePitori. Uma ngabe ufuna ukuyodivorce, bekufuneka uhambe uye ePitori uyedivorce, uhambe le distance kanti nemali awunayo. Manje ke insiza seseduze, kodwa kasisho ukuthi sicugcuzela ukuthi abantu baseMpumalanga badivorce ngoba seseduze. Sicugcuzela nje ukuthi insiza sisetshenziswe kahle. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much. MEC, any other member statement? Honorable Mkabela.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise on behalf of the economic freedom fighters to raise a statement about the shocking and disgusting incident whereby a 30-year-old teacher was charged for grooming the 14-year-old girl for sexual purposes. The EFF believes that the 16 days of violence against women and children must not only be highlighted during this period, but throughout the year. We wish the family and the victim strength and believe the culprit must be sent direct to jail without bail. I so move.
Thank you, Honorable. It touches two departments. I will give Honorable Shabalala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Ngicabanga ukuthi umhlonishwa lapha uphakamisa isiphakamiso lesi baleke kakhulu ukuthi sisibuke sibantu baseMpumalanga enzabeni yokuhlukumezeka kwebantwana ngisho nasetikoleni. Sento lesiniwe ngilotishera, sento lesivele ekugcineni siyambeka endzaweni yasejele. So ngicabanga ukuthi i-concern yakhe nathi i-concern yethu, but the 16 days la khuluma ngayo nathi siyafisa ukuthi ngabe it's a 365 days. Mhlambe siphoqa imali kodwa ngokuhamba kwesikhathi siyacabanga siyawufika lapho. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much. Any other member statement? Honorable Grove Morgan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to deliver a statement on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Honorable Speaker, in the Treatment Action Campaign, or better known as TAC 2018, State of the Provincial Healthcare System Spotlight on Mpumalanga's report stated that mobile clinics in Mpumalanga often do not have the required medication and that the Department of Health should ensure closer and easier access to medicines to reduce the suffering of these communities. Honorable Speaker, it is more than 18 months later, and still many communities in Mpumalanga who rely solely on mobile clinics are still suffering. Just recently, the DA was saddened to learn that the plight of the informal communities of Sandra, Ritkol, Ilof, and all farming areas in the Victor Kanye local municipality, where mobile clinics that service these areas do not have working medical equipment to measure blood pressure or test blood sugar. To make matters worse, the mobile clinics do not have the basic medicines. At the best of times, they might have only a Panado. Honorable Speaker, the people of Mpumalanga have suffered long enough. Our government is infringing on this residents' rights to basic primary health care, and this needs urgent attention. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MC Manzini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Member is raising a very serious matter here. But instead of coming to raise it here when our people are suffering, because according to our knowledge, any mobile clinic is expected to ukuthi ibe nayo yonke imithi efanele ukuthi bekhona. So if ukhona i-mobile clinic le umhlonishwa ayibonile, kufuna njengalindi ne-legislature asifonele so that si-correct ngoba sonke sine responsibility yokumake sure ukuthi ama-services esifuna ukuthi afike ebantwini afika ngendlela yakhona. But-ke njengoba sekayirezile ke, we'll do a follow-up because we don't expect fana nama-clinic bahlonishwa. If khona i-clinic ethi ayinamithi, thina eDepo siyazi ukuthi khona. Umsebenzi wenu ukuthi nani njengamalungu ahloniphekile nibe liso nendlebe yethu so that sonke silungise okungekho right. Kodwa le ngoba sewuyireyizile so wabheka lama mobile clinic akhuluma ngawo bese siyayilungisa amashothi khona ungahambi kahle. Ngiyabonga Speaker.
Thank you. Any other member statement? Honorable Webb.
Madam Speaker, I rise on behalf of the original freedom fighters acting in this House as the Freedom Front Plus. Madam Speaker, if you have eaten this day, this morning and today, you must thank the farmer and the farm workers. But we face severe difficulties. We have to deal with farm attacks and farm workers, farm attacks and farm murders. We have to deal with droughts. We have to deal with stock theft. I have been told that in the Ermelo area, one farmer has lost more than 300 head of cattle in 1 year. And over and above that, we have to deal with foot and mouth disease now. All auctions in our province have been suspended. Severe restrictions have been placed on the movement of wool and of meat. And I have to ask the question, how was it possible that this disease could spread to Mpumalanga? Do we have effective measures? If we don't, I plead with you to introduce the necessary measures that we do not have to deal with this severe problem that we are facing now in future. Once again, I want to plead with you, have a feeling for us. Thina esindlisayo siyashona, ngiyakhala kini ukuthi nisize.
Thank you, Honorable Webb. Honorable Shongwe, the leader of government business.
Siyabonga kakhulu Somlomo, sibonge kumhlonishwa ngesishukumisa siphakamisile. Kuyinkinga ke kakhulu engicabanga ukuthi sibambisene ne-Department ye Community Safety Security Liaison. Kune plan yama farmer tax, farm workers, because uma ngabe kukhona ofile noma obulewe eplazini noma ngabe ngumsebenzi noma ngangumnikazi weplazi, kithi kusiphatha kabi ngoba kusuke kulimala umuntu okhiqizayo nowondla isizwe. Siyathemba ke ukuthi umhlonishwa we-Community Safety Security Liaison unalo i-plan, ngiyalazi likhona, ngeke ngaba khona kule department yakhe yokulwa nama-farmer tax. Kulena ye-foot and mouth disease, isifo leso singeke sisivimbele. Siqhamuka nhlangothi zonke, kwamanje siqhamuka okakhulukazi eLimpopo. So sibambisene no-Minister umama uThoko Didiza. Mpumalanga siceliwe kakhulu ukuthi senze ama-road blocks okakhulukazi emgwaqweni eqhamuka eLimpopo, ukuchecka ukuthi akukho inkomo nenyama engena la eMpumalanga ngendlela engasikahle na ukulwisana nalesi sifo. Kodwa lesi sifo okakhulukazi sidalwa ilezilwane lezi ekuthiwa ama-buffaloes. Yizo kakhulukazi esidala lesifo lese-foot and mouth disease. Uma sesikhona ke uhulumende waseMpumalanga ubhizi uyasebenza, senza ama-road block, senza ama-awareness nakubantu bakithi njengoba uyiphakamisile emhlonishwa. Sibonga kakhulu nabantu bakithi abayekele ukuhambe bahlaba inkomo kudliwa inyama engathestwanga ngoba uzogcina udla nenyama engasi right. Sibonga kakhulu ke emhlonishwa, siyathemba ukuthi sizawubambisana ngayo le ndaba yale foot and mouth disease. Isifo esidlangile simosha kakhulu inkomo, amafandisi avaliwe nje ukuthengiselana ngenkomo kwamanje kusemile. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much. Any other member statement? Honorable Hlophe.
Ngiyathokoza nomkhulumi ngiphakama ngaphansi kwehlangano ebusako i-ANC ukuthokozisa umphathiso wezamaphilo ukuthi iprogram yakhe le ayiranako ye-NHI iqhuba kahle kakhulu, futhi sinethemba lokuthi abantu bakithi bazothola ukusizwa kangcono eminyakeni ezayo. Sibonile lapha eHersibande Chief Albert Luthuli kwakhiwa ikliniki esezingeni elikhulu eNhlazatshe, futhi siyabonga nekliniki leyo iqhuba kahle. Sinethemba lokuthi ngasidala bazoyinikezela ebantwini. Ngiyabonga Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Manzini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Siyabonga department. Egarsibande is one of the district la NHI was piloted khona. People of Enhlazatshe bajabule kakhulu ngoba uma ungangena lapha kule clinic ungacabanga ukuthi usesentini qobo lwawo. Isimo sale clinic ngendlela ingakhona konke kuhle, kuna nama room yabomama bazobanikeza idignity ukuthi uma uncelisa kune room la khona, kuna yonke into. So sijabula kakhulu ukuthi ke thina la province ithe i-national mayenzi public hearing by support NHI ngoba already sibonile Gersibande kukhona nenye nje enkulu clinic ezovula futhi maduzane izawuvula futhi upresident. So sina Mpumalanga siyajabula department ukuthi lolu sizo siluthola from national sebenzisana nabo linemthelela emihle kakhulu, lizoshintsha indaweni zasemakhaya ungasabonakala usemakhaya nama services amahle asuka khona. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much. Executive statements. Are there any executive statement? Honorable Majoba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Today, 26 November 2019, marks the end of the 2019 Grade 12 National Examinations, as 95% of our learners were writing their final exam paper. This morning, all the registered 56,838 candidates wrote English Paper 3, First Additional and Home Language respectively. There are a few learners that will be writing Agricultural Technology and Music until 28 November 2019. As a department, we wish to appreciate all stakeholders for collaborating with us and ensuring that we administer an incident-free examination. We applaud the security cluster, teacher formations, principals associations, school governing bodies, our teachers, parents and communities at large for their efforts to make the examinations a success. Honourable Speaker, we have done all humanly possible to ensure that the grade 12 results improves from 79% in 2018 to 82% in 2019. We worked hard to deliver teaching and learning and supported the learners with winter camps, spring camps, and our schools coordinated morning and afternoon classes. We provided motivational sessions and encouraged the learners to unleash their full potential. We walked them into exam room on 23rd October 2019, and we will continue to support them until 28th November 2019. We wish to take this opportunity to further condemn the pens down activities that are usually conducted at the end of the examination. We have requested the SAPS to assist us and curb this ill-informed activity and premature celebration of the end of the examinations and monitor the sale and use of liquor by children under the age of 18. We have issued a circular to schools prohibiting all public schools from coordinating such activities or related excursions. We have safely collected and stored all answer scripts from the 555 examination centers, and marking will commence from the 1st to 14th December 2019 in 17 marking centers. Honourable Speaker, we have made all efforts to ensure that we continue to administer an incident-free examination as it has been the case for the past 9 years. We remain confident that come 8 January 2020, when we announce the results, Mpumalanga would have improved. The sons and daughters of the rising sun will make us shine. We remain confident that our target of 82% will be achieved. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I now allow each party to comment on the executive statement for not more than 3 minutes. I will start with EFF.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. We welcome the speech by Honourable Majuba, and we hope that the 82% will be achieved. If not, we will wonder what happened, because he is promising the whole South Africa now that he will achieve the 82%. Thank you.
Thank you. The DA.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Good afternoon to the House. Honourable Speaker, we would like to also congratulate the MEC and the department for an incident-free examination. I think we are all relieved that that happened. MEC, also thank you very much for circulating the statement. It always gives us time to prepare. And while we're busy with the MEC, we want to join the MEC in condoning the pens down parties, which is a very, very dangerous activity that happens to matriculants that get overly excited about the exam that was finished. Honourable Speaker, from the DA side, we would also like to show gratitude to all the teachers and administrators that was involved and really spent a lot of time with this huge responsibility. MEC, just after thanking you and congratulating you, I would like to caution you just on the following things. I think the first and very important thing is to stop this culture of only looking at matric results. We should realize that formal schooling starts in grade R nowadays, which is a 13-year school time that you go to school, and I think it's important for us to look at 12 years of results and not only the 1 year. We shouldn't only focus on 1 year. There's a huge dropout rate from grade R to grade 12, and I think that should be a huge concern for us to keep our students in school and to make sure that we broaden our base of educated learners in South Africa. Secondly, MEC, I would urgently like you to look at the throughput rate, because the throughput rate is a huge concern if somebody is not ready for the next grade and they get put through to the next grade, because when they get to grade 12, they are not prepared for what they should do. And that brings me to my last point, which is the multi-year examination that was stopped. Now, especially if you look at the throughput rate where somebody can be in matric and not be prepared for matric, if there's not a multi-year examination, we're going to have a problem. And this is the first year that we don't have multi-year examinations. And as the DA, we are very, very concerned that we might not get to the 82% target of pass rate. Now, MEC, I would firstly like to just tell you that it's a system that you inherited. So if the pass rate is not 82%, you don't need to take it personally. But we would like to urge you to release the correct, unadjusted matric pass rate so that we can benchmark against non-multi-year examinations. Because if we're going to cook our rates just to make it look better,
30 seconds left.
then, thank you, Speaker, then it's going to cause a problem in the future. So I would really like to ask you to give us the real pass rate on 8 January so that we can benchmark the non-multi-year examinations. And I'd like to end off, Speaker, just to say good luck to everybody that's going to mark and be involved in the processing and the administration of the marks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. FF plus.
Madam Speaker, as you can see that it's more than half a century ago that I passed matric, because as you can see, I'm almost 100 years old. And if I count in overtime, I'm more than 100 years old. When we wrote matric, we thought we were very clever. And I think we were clever. But if I compare the matriculants of that time to the matriculants of today, matriculants of today are far more advanced than we were. Far more advanced. They know much more. They are much better trained than before. And I want to congratulate you on that. There is, however, one area where I have concern. For me, it's not that important what the pass rate is, because you can manipulate the pass rate by lowering the bar, lowering the criteria by which you establish how many people have passed matric. You can do that. It's important for me that we have a system where we produce quality and well-educated South Africans. In Japan, in the first 4 years, children do not write exams. They are taught good manners. They are taught respect. They are taught to be people who get along well with all other people. And that's where I believe that we must get in and teach our young people to show respect. Lezi ngane zethu zifuna ukuthi zisihloniphe. Asikwazi ukuba sibe nabantu abangahloniphi. Masihamba ngendlela ukuthi sethukana sonke isikhathi, siyawubhidliza yonke into. Siyabonga.
Thank you. ANC. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We really appreciate and congratulate the Honorable MEC and the people of Mpumalanga
that we had an incident-free examination process. And that is proof, Honorable Speaker, that the ANC government is providing leadership. It's proven in terms of the quality of children that we are producing and the quality of results that we are producing. If I may remind this House that 5 years back, the Mpumalanga province, in terms of the metric results, we were at below 50%. And today, it is this province which is above 70%. It is a clear indication that the ANC government is leading, the ANC government is delivering services to our people in terms of education. All what we are requesting as the African National Congress is for the students and the teachers and the parents to work together to ensure that as they have finished writing the examination, we work together that the pass rate increases in the province, and we obtained the more than 80% pass rate that the Honorable MEC is talking about. And we are confident that if we work together, the students, the parents, the community, and the teachers, we would be able to achieve those results. We are confident that more than 80% in the Mpumalanga province is in fact a possibility. When the sun rises, we wake up to work and deliver services to our people. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. We're now moving to motions without notice. Are there any motions without notice? Honorable Mlombo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise on behalf of the African National Congress to move a motion without notice for this Honorable House to sincerely congratulate the Department of Agriculture for their continuous support to upcoming farmers in the entire province and in the Likwa municipality. During the recent oversight visit which we undertook to Likwa, we have established so many good stories to tell. We have visited a place called Ubuhle Siyazenzela Broiler Cooperative, which creates jobs for a majority of our youth. We have visited the Drakensberg Bull project at Kalspruit, which creates jobs for the people of this province. We have visited Bangkok and Goedendalk, also in Likwa municipality, which, Honorable Speaker, is in fact a great success. These are just a few of the many success stories that we can tell that are led by the ANC government, ANC-led government. The main challenge which is facing our agricultural economy is still the lack of agricultural land and also the lack of water due to the drought. The ANC-led government is spending sleepless nights on this, and we hope that as soon as possible, this challenge will be attended to. Honorable Speaker, I therefore move that we all support these positive efforts by the Department of Agriculture and congratulate especially the Honorable MEC, Honorable MC Shongwe, for being focused and concentrating on implementing the manifesto of the African National Congress, that of creating sustainable jobs, growing the economy, and alleviating poverty. I so move. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion agreed to.
No, you can't praise a fish for swimming.
The motion stays defeated. Any other notices of motion? Honorable Nyambe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to raise a motion without notice on behalf of the EFF about the Nkomazi municipality's incompetence. According to the media reports, the municipality paid its employees' salaries on the 15th of October and again on the 26th of October 2019. The Speaker, the reason given by the municipality are not satisfactory, and we would like serious punitive actions to be taken against the manager in charge of the payroll, as the 18 million paid out will destabilize the work of the municipality and affect the service delivery. I so move.
Thank you. The question before the House is whether we agreed to adopt the motion. Agreed to? The motion stays defeated. Any other motion without notice? Honorable Grobler.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise to deliver a motion without notice on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Noting that a recent report from the South African Institute of Race Relations revealed that only 33% of children live with both their parents. For those in single-parent homes, 39% live with their mothers, 4% with their fathers, and then others with extended family. It's unfortunate, Honourable Speaker, that single parents are the victims, and it costs them in wages, work and transport when they seek child support, just to have the other parent default and not pay. Statistics show that 90% of parents who have court orders to pay child support default on them. It's with great concern that we note that the court system is inefficient, underfunded, and not only are the arrangements unrealistic, but the law itself is not decisive enough to ensure that the other parent pays the child support. Honourable Speaker, I therefore want you to further note, or want the House to further note, that for the first time in South Africa, from the 4th until the 10th of December, National Child Support Awareness Week will be launched. Further noting, Honourable Speaker, that the DA welcomes the support of 10 legal practitioners who offered free 30-minute consultations to complex arrears cases. National Child Support Awareness Week will bring forth the plights of single parents and the impact on the children who are not supported financially by both the parents. I therefore move that this House firstly supports the National Child Support Week from 4 to 10 December, secondly welcomes the support given by the 10 legal practitioners, and lastly support our single parents as government to ensure that these children can one day have the opportunities to be future leaders. I so move.
Thank you. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agreed to? Agreed. Any other motion without notice? Honorable Hlophe.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move a motion without notice. The ANC-led government is working very hard on increasing support for our tourism sector, including cultural tourism, to boost its job creation capacity by adopting a whole-government approach to tourism. Its aim is to identify iconic and landmark sites that can be expanded for domestic and international tourism. Noting that the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency, MTPA, for official launching its annual festive season campaign that will run until the 17th of January 2020. The campaign is aimed at both trade and tourism consumers who travel to visit friends and relatives for leisure and other purposes. Further noting that this year's festive season theme is Mpumalanga Beyond Wildlife, which talks to many diverse tourism offerings that visitors can enjoy in the province besides the wildlife experience. Some of those offerings include the geotrail at Makonjwa Mountains and the 4x4 route at Songimvelo Maloloja Transfrontier Conservation Area, the Samora Machel Monument, the Liberation Route at the Gersibande district, and the wild horses at Kapsewop. Tourists contribute positively to the provincial economy and create more jobs in the hospitality sector. This honorable House have a responsibility to condemn the act of violence and crime against tourism. I move that this House welcome and support this initiative from the state-owned enterprise, working hand in glove with the Department of Finance, Economic Development and Tourism. I so move.
Thank you. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agree to? The motion stays defeated. Any other motion? Honorable Mashilo?
Speaker, I rise to raise a motion without notice that we must condemn any children that shall fail matric and commit a suicide, but at the same time encourage departments of education to allow those who shall fail to repeat the matric for their future reference. I so move.
Thank you. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agree to? Agreed. So it's agreed. Thank you. We are now moving to notices of motion. Are there any notices of motion? Honorable Shaw.
Ngiyabonga Somlomo. Ngithanda ukuphakamisa nasi ishukumiso. Sukela sivulele eParliament. Akabonakala umhlonishwa Sithole. Rule 25 uthi a member must attend all sittings and meetings that and an honorable member must not be absent for quite some times in the sittings. And Rule 25 uyaqhubeka futhi uthi fanele umhlonishwa lolovako athathelwe imali according to Rule 25.4 lenganga 2,500. Ngako Somlomo sicela ukuthi uyiphenye lenzaba ngoba nakuma komiti asikaze simbone vele emhlonishwa Sithole. Sicela ukuthi uphenye nokuthi usatise ukuthi ingabe uyawathumela yini ma apologies na nangakhona noma ngabe uyawathumela awuthumeli ma apologies forever. Angeke ahole umhlonishwa ahlele ekhaya noma ngabe kwende njani kumbe mayimane onjani mara ufuna abuye emsebenzini asebenze. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you. Motion is noted and will be dealt with accordingly. We're now moving to formal motions. I am informed that there are no formal motions. We should proceed to orders of the day. The Secretary shall read the first order of the day.
Order number 1, Senate debate on the people with disabilities.
Thank you. I have a speakers list in front of me. The first speaker will be Honorable B.T. Shonge from the ANC. 4 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Deputy Speaker, members of the Executive Council led by the Leader of Government Business, honorable members of the Legislature, all officials led by the Secretary of the Legislature and the HODs, ladies and gentlemen, through you, Speaker, let me take this opportunity and greet the disability community of Mpumalanga. Honorable Speaker, we want to applaud you for organizing a disability parliament last Friday, which afforded us an opportunity to celebrate the abilities of the people with disabilities. We have already launched the Disability Awareness Month in the province, and the country will hold its National Day of Persons with Disabilities on the 3rd of December. And Mpumalanga will subsequently follow with events on the 5th, 6th, and 9th of December in all 3 districts. In the same time, there are a series of activities that will be undertaken by all departments and entities as part of a program of action. Former President Nelson Mandela, who was one of the pioneers and a champion for rights for people with disabilities, taught us to never undermine the rights of people with disabilities. And in line with his teachings, we shall continue to do so. Mandela, during the first annual South African Junior Wheelchair Sports Champs that was held in Johannesburg in 1995, on the 4th of December, he said, "The new South Africa we are building should be accessible and open to everyone. Children with disabilities are equally entitled to an exciting and brilliant future. We must see to it that we remove the obstacles which include poor access to facilities, poor education, lack of transport, and lack of funding or unavailability of equipments. Only then will the rights of the people with disabilities to equal opportunities become a reality," unquote. On foundation for the empowerment and emancipation of people with disabilities was laid by this stalwart, and will continue to work towards addressing all challenges that might still exist in the sector. We want to recommit ourselves to continue creating a better life for all the people with disabilities, and we will not falter on this noble mandate. The apartheid government marginalized people with disabilities, and such marginalization was entrenched into society, but we have moved as the ANC-led government to change that, and we will continue creating exciting opportunities for all our people, working towards creating an inclusive society. Somlomo, we want to remove all barriers for people with disabilities so that they can access and participate in all activities in our communities and government programs. We cannot discriminate against the sector, and we should be agents of transformation and empowerment of people with disabilities. Honorable Speaker, the people with disabilities are crying in the province that they need a school to be built, since there is no high school for them, and they have to go to other provinces. And we want to take this opportunity to applaud the 5 departments that have complied in terms of the target of 2% in terms of employment. We want to congratulate the Office of the Premier, which is leading in that regard. And we must continue in promoting and protecting the rights of people with disabilities as South Africans. And we are duty-bound to reflect on the journey we have traveled.
Honourable Member.
I want to take this opportunity to request, Honourable Speaker, in Hlonipho kubantu labane disability. We don't want ever to see what happened last Chairperson, last Friday, the disrespect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Honorable TMJ Grove Morgan. 3 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me start off by saying that I firmly believe that being disabled is never an obstacle to success, and it never should be. I always see disabled people performing much better work and striving much more to achieve things in life than people who are able. Given their will to succeed, I do believe that there is lots more that we as government should do to ensure that those who are disabled are integrated in a non-discriminatory society. There are higher levels of unemployment among people with disabilities, and our very own provincial government cannot stick to the target mechanism when it comes to the employment of people with disabilities. I came across a rather interesting article on the South African government news website titled "Mbombela Establishes Library Services for Visual Impaired." I was happy reading that libraries in Hazyview, Masoy, Matsuluka, Bokweni, Zwelisha, Valencia Park, Nelsville, Nelspruit, and Msokwaba have access to specialized playback machines known as Daisy in 2013, as stated by Joseph Nkala. Honorable Speaker, I conducted oversight in Mbombela, and I visited Nelspruit, Nelsville, and Valencia libraries. The system is present in Nelspruit Library, and I gained first-hand experience into the way it works. I think it is remarkable as it allows someone who is visually impaired to still type, use the internet, and the likes. However, when I visited Valencia and Nelsville, there were no such machines. As it was stated that all of these machines are available since 2013, where did the money go, Honorable Speaker? This further makes me query the level of corruption in this project. Honorable Speaker, the public library in Valencia is not wheelchair friendly, even their toilets. Where do we leave our disabled people? Honorable Speaker, let us as government ensure that we promote the freedom of movement among all our people, abled or not. Let us ensure that our public transport caters for the needs of someone who is disabled. Currently, we do not have public transport for people who are disabled, and furthermore, this is a clear violation of the right to dignity, as they would have to be carried by strangers. Honorable Speaker, in closing, let us remove all forms of discrimination against people who are disabled. And most especially, let us ensure that all government departments and public facilities are accessible to all our people. As we know that from the 3rd of November to the 3rd of December is declared National Disability Awareness Month. Let us stick to that and let us treat our disabled people with dignity. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The next speaker will be Honorable B.M. Lubisi from the ANC. 4 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, Mayor BP Shiba, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Mr. P.V. Mkacha, the Honorable Premier in absentia, members of the Executive Council, honorable members of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Honorable Speaker, it is with great pleasure that we are gathered here today to speak about people with disabilities, which is taking place 6 days before we celebrate the International Day of People with Disabilities. The International Day of People with Disabilities was proclaimed by the United Nations in 1992. It has been observed successfully around the world, and the main purpose of this is to promote an understanding and education on disability issues and mobilize support for the dignity, rights, and well-being of persons with disabilities. Honorable Speaker, our 2019 theme throughout these commemorations will be promoting the participation of persons with disabilities and their leadership, taking action on the 2030 Development Agenda. This theme speaks volumes regarding the active participation and the leadership role in building the future. It is through this background that people with disabilities must be given a chance like any other person in our societies. Gone are those days where people with disabilities were overlooked in many opportunities in our communities and working places. This is the time that we must come up with ideas so that we can build South Africa together. The ANC-led government has come up with a number of laws, policies, and programs to improve the lives and welfare of people with disabilities. The participation of this sector in the development of our mainstream economy is a special necessity to all of us. Research has indicated that less work has been done so far to improve the lives of our people with disabilities, especially at our workplaces. This challenge is faced by many, if not all, countries world over. In many occasions, Honorable Speaker, we had specially parliamentary sittings or sessions of people with disabilities, like the one recently held on the 22nd of November, which is last week. All these sections were successful and well attended to, but the results thereof are very minimal. Honorable Speaker, we tend to be very slow when coming to responses and implementation of decisions taken during these deliberations. Honorable Speaker, statistics show that the rate of unemployment for people with disability is very high, the most affected being women and youth. Some departments have tried to comply with government's Employment Equity Act, but only a few with people with disabilities on all departments remain employed. It is therefore call upon all employers, including the public sector, to follow this clarion call, the call to be inclusive by including people with disabilities at their workplaces as a matter of agency. A special oversight will be done to ensure that a proper employment of all people with disability. Any employer who ignores this clarion call must be dealt with accordingly. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. The next speaker is Honorable Engineer Mbe from EFF, 4 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for allowing us time to debate the status of our people living with disabilities. We would like to say people with different abilities are our kids, grandparents, and partners, meaning we live with them and see how much the society and the government continue to discriminate them, especially when it comes to service delivery issues and their social well-being. Honorable Speaker, access to housing for the elderly living with different abilities continue to expose that 25 years since the government of the people, their plight is not getting enough attention because the government wouldn't be reacting to media headlines and other social media platforms to know that there is someone without a shelter. It takes such headlines for us as public representatives to rush to that place and use it to gain political relevancy. But if there was a well-monitored and funded program to cater for the needs of our people with different ability, the government will always know their challenges. The EFF will propose that there should be a social worker for each ward who will be working closely with the families of persons living with different abilities. There should be proper monitoring and support of stimulation centers and protective workshops. The government must also ensure that there is strong emphasis on school policies that encourages TVET colleges and university to attract and enroll at least 1% of the people living with different abilities. I thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker will be Honorable W.L. Weber from FV Plus, 1 minute.
Madam Speaker, umfazi wami disabled use wheelchair ngihamba nako malanga onke ngolesihlanu besilapha bengikhona mina bengilalela laba bantu ngoba izinhlungu zabo ngiyazazi ukuhlupheka kwabo ngiyakwazi mina bengilalela lapha kodwa Madam Speaker manje uyangihlupha unginika 1 minute mina ngineyinkinga engaka kodwa iDA bengekho abanandaba nalaba bahluphekile they don't care about everything. But they are being taught by their leader. Their leader, I do not know how she looks like. You must send me a picture that I can notice her. Manje, mawuswela indoda ezawukhulumisa laba bahluphekile. Thuma mina, send me.
Thank you, Honorable Webb. The next speaker will be Honorable J.L. Tabete from the ANC. 4 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, our MECs, members of the legislature, the heads of the departments, tihambeli tethu, tivakashi tethu letihle, ngiyanibingelela. Ngitsandza kuthatha leli thuba somlomo. Ngibonge lithuba lenginikwe lona ukuthi ngikhulume ngebantu lebaphila nekhubateka. Labakhubatekile. Ningixolele bahlobo bami ngifuna kubita lokulokahle bantu labakhubatekile ngithi.
Yebo.
Oh, ngiyabonga. Ngicela kuthatha lelithuba ngixolise ke ngoba ngifuna ukulwa nani bahlobo bami nginithandza kakhulu. Nethi ngoba elimi liyashelela ngithi. Ngifuna kuthatha lelithuba somlomo ngibonge ukuthi ngithole lelithuba ukuthi ngibe kule nkulumo mbikiswano yebantu bakithi labakhubatekile. Ngifuna kusho ukuthi bahlonishwa bethu uma sibuka la ema-departmentini kaningi ma-department lamaningi aba-comply nalokuthi kufanele each department ibe na 2% kulabantu bakithi labakhubatekile ukuthi babaqashe. Nale misebenzi lelelula nje abakhona ukuthi babafake kuyo. So sifuna kucela ke ku department ukuthi wonke ama department nema entity wethu egovernment abakhumbule ukuthi kunebantu bakithi labakhubatekile. Laba lebaphila nale sifo lebathi albinism siyacela ukuthi i-department o labane albinism. Okay, ngiyabonga bahlobo bami ngiyafunda. I-department ye health babathengele tibuko somlomo ngoba la etikolweni akusibo bonke labatali bakhonako ukuthi babathengele tibuko ene bafundza kabuhlungu. So siyacela ukuthi njengaloku sikhona ku distributor ma sanitary towel nabo siba accommodate ukuthi sibathengele tibuko bakhona kufundza kahle. Tikolo leti talabakhubatekile la eMpumalanga tincane kakhulu. So siyacela ke ku department ukuthi atibe khona letikolo ushilo make shongwe ukuthi ma high school kakhulu awekho lawa la accommodator laba labakhubatekile. So siyacela ukuthi nabo batiwe ukuthi bakhona babakhele tikolo leti ba accommodatako. Nekuthi ivoice yabo uma bakhuluma tinto letiningi letithashako. So kubonakala kwangathi abavakala uma bakhuluma. So kuthi sebayakhuluma kuyavakala kutobonakala ngekuthi nalaba bakuma business abayekele kufranta ngalabantu labakhubatekile. Bathi bathola amathenda kanti bayatidlela le mali. Nabo bayafuna ukuthi babe nabo soma business babo lebatokhona kubanakekela. So uma siyokhona ukuthi uma bakhuluma sibeve singabayuzi kodwa sende ukuthi nabo bative bayingcenye yebantu leba normal kungabonakali ukuthi bona bakhubatekile. Ngicabanga ukuthi i-government itabe idlale lichaza lelikhulu kakhulu. Nalama center abo siyabonga nje ukuthi lekhathi kunale TLP kunema center lesathembisa ukuthi stoya kowanaka enkomazi and i-Department of Social Development ile yayowenda lokhu lekuthembisile during the TLP. Sibonga kakhulu, ngiyabonga somlomo.
Siyabonga Mhlonishwa. That concludes the snap debate on people with disabilities. The Secretary shall read the second order of the day.
Order number 2, questions for oral reply to members of the Executive Council.
I have a question paper in front of me with questions for oral reply to members of the Executive Council. I am informed that the question paper was duly circulated to all members of the legislature. We will now proceed to questions for oral reply as they appear on the question paper. The first question was asked by Honorable W. Weber, VF Plus, to ask the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport, Honorable Mashiko.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The members of the Provincial Legislature, members of the Executive Council, the communities that are invited to the sitting today. Well, the following is regarding the amount of land owned by the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport in the province. Will the Honorable MEC please answer the following questions? Question number 1. In written questions asked by the members of the National Assembly regarding the amount of land owned by the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport in the November 2017 results indicated that the department owns 1,014 unutilized properties in Mpumalanga to the value of 1.14 billion and totaling 194,117.99 hectares. In comparison, what is the percentage of the land that is now being utilized for housing, agriculture, and the betterment of the people of Mpumalanga? The response is the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport owns 834 vacant land, which is unutilized properties to the value of 277 million and totaling 3,106.2036 hectares. Most of the assets are residential and land that was used for road camps situated in different towns in the province. The vast majority of land in the province rests with National Department of Public Works and Department of Agriculture, Rural Development and Land Reform. Both departments are leasing some of the land to young emerging farmers for agricultural and business purposes. Portfolio of evidence of the leases can be requested from these departments. Question 2, what are the annual expenses incurred for the maintenance of these unutilized properties? Well, the response is that only rates and taxes are paid for these properties. Question 3, what is the department doing regarding the release of public works properties as part of the government's commitment on releasing state-owned land that is mentioned in the expropriation bill? The department is committed to release state-owned land in support of the expropriation bill. To this effect, A list of unutilized, which is vacant state land, has been identified. A list of unutilized state land was submitted to the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, and Land Reform for consideration and reporting. Fourth question, how much of this department's land has been earmarked for release as part of the government's commitment to the expropriation bill? The department is committed to release state-owned land in support of the expropriation bill. In principle, all unutilized vacant state-owned land is available for release in support of the expropriation bill. However, the release of such owned land will be subject to the requirements and compliance at that particular time. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, MC. Honorable Webb, do you have a follow-up question? Thank you very much. Any other member who have a follow-up question? Honorable Grobler.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable MC, I would just like to note, has the department done a proper audit on the amount of land owned by the state, and what percentage of that is actually viable for agriculture?
Honorable MC.
Well, Honorable Grobler, in terms of what we have as an audit, is in terms of what I'm speaking to, but we are open. If you feel that there are some incorrect reporting, we can bilaterally engage and then make sure that if indeed it is like that, we can be able to correct. It might be possible that some of the land that belongs to government might not be traced. It might be possible. Looking at how the transition from the old system into the new democratic system was handled. You recall that most of the issues were dealt in manually. And there might be a possibility. We can't rule that out, but I'm flexible.
Thank you. Any other follow-up question from other members? Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. You can take your seat. We're now moving to new questions. The first question by Honorable J.J. Skosana from the ANC to ask the MEC for Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. Honorable Chongwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to everyone in the House. The question from Honorable J.J. Skosana to the MEC for Agriculture read as follows. Our government gave some of our people land under the CPA's program, which is Communal Property Association. In a number of these areas, for an example, Ward 2 Emakazeni Municipality, we have Mavela CPA, Mavula CPA, Nkombe CPA, and DSC Cooperative. Nothing is done to help these communities in agricultural activities, and there's a totally no help from the Office of Agriculture in Belfast. Only white farmers are benefiting from this office. I want us to take note of that one. And the question is asking me whether I am aware of the situation. And my response as an MEC is that the department is quite aware of the plight faced by the number of farmers under the CPAs in the area. What did we do as a department to redeem the situation? And the response is, the Provincial Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs has over the years been provided post-settlement support to CPAs after being settled by the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform. The post-settlement support provided includes the provision of technical advices, agribusiness development, to assist with access to funding and markets. Phezu komkhono womlimi, with production inputs and mechanization, and masibuyele esibayeni with livestock improvement program. All these programs and others are accessible to all farmers in the area, including the CPF. I want us, Honorable Speaker, to take note that as a department, when we give support to farmers, we don't look at the color. Yes, indeed, we are biased from the disadvantaged communities. But stomach does not know of any color. If you are hungry, you are hungry. So what I want to emphasize here is for the member and the members to listen to these responses. With regards to CPFs, as mentioned, and here are the following responses, Honorable J.J. Skosan. I want you to take note of this and other members. Mavula CPA registered as Mavula Singene CPA. The last contact with the CPA members was in November 2019, which is this year. And in this ending month, to determine what services is available from my department. The department is in a process of developing specific programs together with the members of CPA. In Mkhombe, CPA, registered as Nomkhombe CPA. The CPA received assistance in the form of an agricultural production, inputs and infrastructure support that includes fencing from department in a period between financial year of 18 and 19. Extension and advisory personal services were given to them. BSC Cooperative, the departmental local office have engaged the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform in Kangala district to verify it on their database for possible handover for a post-settlement support. Once the CPA has been located, the local agricultural office will provide support to them. That is their responsibility. That's why we have those offices in all the municipalities in the province. Once the CPA has been located, the local agricultural office will give them the necessary support, depending what type of support are they requiring. Because abanye bafuna ukusizwa ngamaganda, abanye bafuna ukusizwa ngefence, abanye bafuna ukusizwa ngenhlanyelo, abanye bafuna ukusizwa ngokuthola umhlaba. So that's basically what we do to them. The department is on ongoing basis encouraging the potential farmers and farmers to frequent these offices, visit these offices, because abanye bathatha advantage ukuthi they are connected to honorable members, bavele bafonele bahlonishwa, bypasse lama offices bafuna ukukhuluma nathi direct, which is not right. In lama offices agcina ngasasebenzi lutho. The department also enlists the assistance of the ward councillors to encourage the farmers to register and become aware of the departmental services and programs. Through the information days Farmers' Days is in Bezos. The farmers are made aware of available agricultural programs and those that are registered on the database of the department for a necessary support and the monitoring thereof. Is there any Fortune 40 project or PESGOM corner program or must be a SBIN project for emerging farmers in the Emakazeni municipality? The direct response is Emakazeni municipality, like all other areas in the province, is provided with all the departmental programs that are specific and relevant to the necessary area. The programs include PESGOM Kono Mlimi, Masbuyele Sibayeni, Land Care, Agribusiness Development, vet services, and all other necessary support that might be required. Subsistence and smallholder producers in the Emakazeni municipality have been supported with the mechanization, production inputs, and garden tools over the past few years. In the current financial year, the department will continue to provide support through the same programs. However, currently there is no Fortune 40 project in that particular space. And ngokuhamba nokubona kwethu iFortune 40 ifuneka kibo bonke bomasipala. Nakhona emakhazeni sizofika. So akukho la singeke sifike khona ngeFortune 40. Siphinde sisho ke ukuthi nesomiso ke sibhokile. Isomiso ke singaphezulu kwamandla ethu. Uma imvula ingani isinikeza inkinga, that is why siyaye as this department speak, spending sale department leya ka agriculture asifani nespending se public works, roads and transport, nese health, nese education, nese community safety, security, liaison, nese human settlement, DSD and other departments, because thine asifaki inhlanyelo, asifaki ikhuba phansi kungakabi manzi kwana imvula. Immediately you do that, yazi ukuthi yonke leyo mali ihambe mahhala. That is why you inbona ukuthi spending sethu when other departments are at 50%, thina at 35%, because suke simele ongaphezulu ukuthi asinisele imvula. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, do you have a follow-up question?
Ngiyathokoza nomlomo wesibethamthetho. Ngithokoza nempendulo esizithola umhlonishwa uMEC Shongwe. And begodu ngithabela nokuzwa ukuthi iFortune 40 iprogram yakhe nevision yakhe ukuthi fanele ngathani bakhona kibo bonke omasipala. Nemakhazeni nayo izayithola ngendlela atsho ngayo. Phela lokhu sikubuzela ngoba Speaker, uma abantu bathola ihlabathi silindele ukuthi bakhiqize ukudla ehlabathini. Njengabo labo ekade bayiphethe ihlabathi bakhiqiza ukudla. Nayizakithi nathi thina abantu ekade singatholanga ithuba lokuthi sithole ihlabathi. Ihlabathi leyo ibereke, sibawa leyo support iqhubeke phezu komkhono omlimi iragele phambili ukuze ikhiqize ukudla. Ngiyathokoza.
Siyabonga kakhulu. Honorable MEC, do you want to say something?
Cha, somlomo ngabe ngimosha isikhathi sakho nesikhathi sendlu yeshaya mthetho. Umhlonishwa bekasigqugquzela ukuthi sisebenze siphambili. Bakhumbule phela abahlonishwa nabahlali baseMpumalanga ukuthi undunankulu umama uRefilwe Mthweni Tsipane ubisa back iCRDP. iCRDP nayo izolekelela bonke labo masipala ukuthi bakhona ukuphila ngeagriculture. Izabe lidwa yithi yona kumehluko weCRDP somlomo ifaka umama we-human settlement, ifaka umama we-DSD, ifaka ubaba we-public works, ifaka umama we-health, ifake umama we-safety, ifaka ubaba we-education, ifake umhlonishwa we-court.
Thank you very much. Are there any follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Grobler?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. MEC, you know that we always speak about the CPAs and I do believe in the importance of them. I appreciate your feedback that you gave, you know, about when last did the department have contact with the CPA. You mentioned the Mvula one was in November, and etc. I just want to ask you, how accurate is that information? Because if you go out and you speak to the CPAs, then that's not what you hear. But then we come in here, and I'm not saying that you are not telling the truth, but have you, as the MEC, have you actually checked the information that gets given to you from the department, specifically on CPAs? Because if you speak to the CPAs, it's not what we get from you. So I think there's a gap in information somewhere.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Siyabonga somlomo. Umhlonishwa uGrobler lo mbuzo ubuzako. Ngizawuphendula ngendlela kwangathi ngiyadelela. Ngisho ngani ukuthi nguphendula kwangathi ngiyodelela. iCPA uma ngabe umhlonishwa uyayazi into ayizele la parliament. Kufanele azi ukuthi iCPA iyicompetence ye-national. So thina njenge department yaseMpumalanga siyamitha nalama CPAs ngoba hlala nathi la Mpumalanga. Akusho ukuthi makuyi CPA usukumitha nesipoko. Umitha ne CPA ngabahlali bala Mpumalanga, simitha nabo on daily basis. Sikhuluma indaba ze agriculture. Sikhulume nendaba zomhlaba abanawo abanye bakhona bahlalela ukulwa. Bangasebenzi lo msebenzi abawutholela lo mhlaba wona. So sikhuluma nawo le information is very much accurate. Uma ngabe umhlonishwa afuna ukwenza oversight njengomsebenzi wakhe wekwenza oversight akahamba ayokwenza oversight abuye nereport. Siyabonga.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Any other follow-up question from other members? None. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. The next question from Honorable Hlophe, ANC, to ask MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Honorable Msibi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and let me observe all protocol. The question, Honorable Speaker, from Honorable Hlophe is, the people of Botleng in Delmas, Victor Kanye municipality, are unhappy about the rocketing cost of electricity and continuous lack of water in Sandra, Elof, and Redcall areas. The Victor Kanye municipality owes Rand Water 111 million, hence the reduced water supply. Is the Honorable MEC aware of the above? The response is, Madam Speaker, yes, I'm aware of the challenges faced by the communities of Victor Kanye municipality in the area of Sandra, Elof, and Redcall. The lack of water is a consequence of Rand Water 40% water restriction on the Mother Bear water supply scheme that covers the areas such as Sandra, Elof, and Redcall, and Plumendal water supply scheme. I should state, Madam Speaker, that the 40% restriction has greatly affected the Mother Bear water supply scheme because it depends on a pump that requires pressure to work effectively. The restriction has resulted in the inability of the pump to fill water into Sandra reservoirs. As a result, the municipality takes longer to fill the Sandra reservoirs with water and also pump water to two pressure towers of Sandra and Elof. It is important for Honorable Hlophe to note that the Plumendal water supply scheme that supplies water to Delmas and the areas of Botleng is not severely affected as the scheme is gravity fed. To date, Rand Water debt of the municipality has escalated to 133,209,000 rand due to non-payment by the Victor Kanye municipality. Second question is, are there any plans in place to redeem this dire situation in Telmas and other areas at Victor Kanye? The response, Madam Speaker, is yes, there are plans in place to address the situation and ensure that the members of the communities have access to water. The third question is, if yes, can the Honorable MEC please elaborate on that? If not, what is the way forward? The response, Honorable Speaker, is in the interim, water tankers are strategically positioned in 4 areas, which is Ilof Water Tower, Sandra Main Road, Sandra South African Police Station, and Sandra Library, ensuring water access to communities. The municipality is also reviving existing borehole water resources aimed at reducing the intake from rainwater. This action will reduce full dependence on rainwater by the municipality. Madam Speaker, my office has engaged with rainwater and the municipality to conclude the payment agreement as soon as possible. And this agreement will then allow water to lift the water restrictions, and the situation will thereafter normalize. The fourth question is, can the Honorable MEC elaborate on how the problem of water supply will finally be resolved in all municipalities in the province? The response is, it is important, Madam Speaker, for the House to know that only 2 municipalities are affected by rainwater restriction, and they include Victor Kanye and Mpegi, as indicated earlier. My office will ensure that finalization of payment agreements by these municipalities and rainwater are reached. I should state to the House that province is hard at work to address the water challenge in the province. In illustrating the efforts of this provincial government, a total of approximately 8 billion was spent within the last 5 years into address basic infrastructure challenges through the MIG. Our municipalities continue to implement infrastructure projects to address the problem of access to water. Madam Speaker, recently some of our municipalities have been experiencing effects of climate change, resulting in drought, minimal rainfall patterns, and low dam levels. The department, together with the Department of Human Settlement, Water and Sanitation, are busy finalizing a provincial assessment on drought to determine the extent of the drought per municipality and the need to declare of drought by the province, which is going to take place tomorrow during the cabinet. I thank you.
Thank you, MEC. Honorable Member, do you have any follow-up question?
Honorable Speaker, thank you, and thank you to the Honorable MEC for the responses. My plea will be that the Honorable MEC to assist the municipalities in making sure that they deliver water, as water is the basic need, in particular in Dr. J.S. Moroka and Tembisil. If the Honorable MEC can assist those 2 municipalities to meet their demand there, I can be very much appreciate Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Member. MEC, is there anything that you want to say in terms of the comment
No,
by?
Honorable Speaker, we take note of the submission. And
Okay.
we'll do so.
Thank you very much. Are there any follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Grovem again.
Not working. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just would like to ask the MEC, will the provincial government bail out municipalities who cannot pay entities such as Rand Water and Eskom? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. That determination can be made after engagement of all parties involved and a report be brought to Cabinet for such a decision.
Thank you, Honorable Webb.
Madam Speaker, I get complaints from this municipality virtually on a weekly basis. And from what I hear, the real problem is not only technical problems. The real problem is the debt of the municipality to Rand Water. Now, my question is it fair that people who have not contributed to the problem are being punished, and those who are the real culprits, that they get free without any punishment for them.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We want to encourage Honorable Weber that the complaint that you get weekly must forward them to us for us to respond, because it will be difficult for us now to determine a weekly complaint that you get. So as when we get them, other honorable members, they know they contact us and respond to those issues.
Thank you. Any follow-up questions from other members? None. Thank you very much, MEC. The next question is from Honorable MC Sedibe from EFF. I could not receive any apology in that regard on the side of EFF. It means that the question falls off. I'm now moving to the next question by Honorable B. Grobler to ask the MEC for Finance, Economic Development and Tourism. Honorable Manzini will stand in for Honorable Ngomane. I've received an apology in that regard. Honorable Manzini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable Member B. Grobler with regards to the Department SOE, your MER, MEGA, and MTPA, and the salaries paid to the executive management, can the MEC indicate the following? According to the organizing sizing grid of SOEs, what size companies MER, MTPA, and MEGA? The response is that both the MER and the MTPA are classified as Schedule 3C public entities, whereas MEGA is a Schedule 3D public entity, and MEGA is a provincial business enterprise and development finance institution, which has 259 positions and its approved organizational structure. Currently, about 185 employees are on its payroll, excluding intern, temporary staff, and seasonal farm workers. The second question, what was the revenue and asset recorded for each SOE in the 2018-19 financial year? The response is that the MTPA assets that were recorded in 2018-19 financial year totaled 509,125,349 rands and broken down as follows. Property, plant and equipment, 473,584,947 rands. This amount includes building to the value of 269,098,145 rands. Intangible asset, 257,195 rands. Heritage asset, which referred to as protected areas, total to 35,283,207 rands. The revenue collected by the entity was 58,407,940 rands, as against the target of 60 million rands. The under-collection was attributed to protest actions by communities at key revenue-generating nature reserves like Sungimvelo, Blade, Manyeleti, and Andova, and the closure of some facilities due to infrastructure upgrades. With regards to the MER, the entity recorded the total asset value of 74,877,131 rands. It collected and transferred revenue totaling 228,728,635 rands. It should be noted that the entity was allocated an amount of 95,310,000 rand for the period in question. With regards to MEGA, the entity assets amounted to 1,077,000,000 rands, up from 1,131,000,000 in the 2017-18 financial year. In terms of the revenue, it collected 190,800,000. What guideline does the department use to determine the executive management salaries of the SOE? The MTPA used the services of the professional company to determine the salaries of the executive management, and this follows a process of benchmarking with government practices and other similar public and private entities performing similar functions. The service further conducts job grading, which looks at, amongst others, the key performance areas and the job weight. The evaluation method used in this regard is a Patterson job evaluation method. With regard to MER, it also utilizes the services of independent consultant to determine the salaries of executive management. At MEGA, the salaries were determined after benchmarking and grading process utilizing the Patterson method of job evaluation. And the Patterson method of evaluation is an international system endorsed by the International Labour Organization, commonly used in Southern Africa, and accommodates multi-skilling and broad bending better than most other systems. It applies to all industry sectors and at all levels. With MEGA reporting a loss of revenue for multiple years, does this impact on determining the salaries for the executive management? No, the basic salaries of executive managers are not linked to organizational performance, but are based on the Patterson method evaluation as indicated earlier on. Why is MTPA executive management salaries considerable less than MER and MEGA? The MTPA is using the Patterson job evaluation method, and the method looked at, amongst others, key performance areas and the job weight. It analyzes decision-making in job task performance or job description and sorts jobs into 6 groups that are graded and grouped into 2 to 3 subgrades, such as stress factors, individual tolerance, length of job, and number of job responsibilities that corresponded to organizational levels. The 6 grades, also called bands, define pay scale. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, MEC. Honorable Member, do you have any follow-up question?
Thank you, Speaker. Yes, I do have follow-up questions. Let me thank the MEC for reading the answers. Speaker, it's really difficult if it's not the relevant MEC, because the questions that I want to ask, I'm not saying that the MEC can't answer them, but she probably won't because it's not her department. So although we appreciate the fact that she reads the answer, it doesn't help us with follow-up questions, because our follow-up questions are based on what we get here in the House. With that said, I would just like that answer to be submitted to me in writing as well, because, well, I suppose we can circulate it to all members because the figures that you run through are very quickly. MEC, if you can answer, I would like to ask you, but if you can't, then I suppose we're going to refer it to the other honourable MEC. But the fact is, if you look at question 3, I've asked how do we determine the executive management salaries? And for all 3 different entities, there was a different method used. One was a professional company, the other one was an independent consultancy, and the other one was benchmarked. Now my question is, because we picked these salaries up, it's different size entities, all with different salary scales on the executive management payrolls. And there's a guideline that we have in government that gives us the salaries, and none of these 3 entities are on the guideline from government. In fact, all of them are paying more. And I think that is one of the problems where we lose a lot of money. And I'm not saying that the executive managers don't deserve to get paid more, but I'm also not saying that they perform that well, that they should be paid more. And it's a problem because we are creating a precedent that we bring in all kinds of consultancies and agencies that can justify us paying more. And then in the next question, you tell me that there's no performance based on this. There's no performance management based on whether you earn your salary or not. And I think we should flag that as a big problem, because we cannot have entities pay whatever consultancies tell them to pay, bloated salaries, and then there's no accountability on the performance of the entity. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Grobler. Honorable MEC, you are given an opportunity, whether you answer or not, it's upon you. The member has given you that opportunity. Over to you.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I think the issue of salary I've outlined in terms of how it came about, in terms of the different entity and how they are determining how a person should be paid. I think what we need to look at is the target, if whether are they meeting the target as set. That's how you should measure their performance. So I think that's what we need to do, especially because in terms of the entity also, if also if whether are they generating the revenue that is expected from those different entities that is going to assist us as a provincial government. So the issue of whether how much are they getting paid and the different method that are used and the benchmarking and all that it comes maybe because I see even your question in terms of, hence we responded to say, how much are they collecting vis-a-vis what government is putting into the three different entities. So our focus should be on making sure that there should be value for money in terms of what you put in and what you are getting in return. And also in making sure that our people in terms of the tourism that we are looking at, are they assisting us as an entity? So I think that's how we should look at rather than how much are they getting paid in terms of whether they're competent, are they delivering in terms of what is expected from them. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, MEC. Any other follow-up questions from other members? None. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. We're now moving to the next question by Honorable W.L. Weber from FV Plus to ask MEC for Community Safety, Security and Liaison. Honorable Shabalala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable W.L. Weber to the MEC Community Safety reads as follows. The following is regarding safety and security, rural safety units. Honorable Shabalala, media reports and security feedback are indicating that syndicates are using mining explosive to heist and to rob secure business enterprises. In fact, a hijacked vehicle was recovered with highly volatile and deadly explosive in it. CCTV cameras footage has also indicated that the robbers are also armed with fully automatic R4 and R5 rifles, as well as semi-automatic shotguns and high-powered hunting rifles. The first question, Roman figure number 1. What is it Mpumalanga South African Police Service doing regarding this syndicate who are obviously out muscling the South African police services? Then they respond, the province has established a joint task team that is focusing on crime hotspots at the Nkangala and Hlanzeni region. As a result, there is a noticeable decrease in occurrences of cash in transit robberies from 22 reports accident for the first 7 months of the 2018-2019 financial year to 18 reported incidents over the same period for the 2019-2020 financial year. Roman figure number 2. Has the 2019 Rural Safety Plan made allowances for the level of violence, crime? If so, what is documented as its proposals? The integrated rural safety strategy addresses all relevant threats to rural safety. The strategy further proposes the establishment of Rural Safety Committee and the Sector Crime Forum as part of the operational activities. Question Roman figure number 3. How many subs, rifles, service pistols and police-issued shotgun Mpumalanga have lost over the past 4 financial years? The type will be pistols. 2016-2017, we lost 44. 2017-2018, we lost 56. 2018-2019, we lost 39. 2019-2020, we lost 11. Rifle. 2016-2017, we lost 1. 2017-2018, we lost 2. 2018-2019, we lost 1. 2019-2020, we lost 4. The gunshots, 2016, 2017, we lost 1. 2017, 2018, we lost 1. 2018, 2019, there was none. 2019, 2020, we lost 2. Question Roman figure number 4. Would you regard this crime act of terrorism? If not, why not? And the response is no, I don't think it is terrorism. The cash in transit CIT robberies are organized crime which threaten the well-being and safety of the inhabitants of the country, which is purely commonly influenced and have no link to any terrorism. Honorable Speaker, that will be all.
Thank you. Honorable Weber, do you have any follow-up question? Any follow-up question? Honorable Webb?
No, thank you. No, thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any other follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Grover Morgan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just would like to ask the Honorable MEC. MEC, we must acknowledge the efforts made in reducing CIT heist. How will we as a province ensure that we stop CIT heist totally? Concerning rural safety units, there has been an increase in the amount of farm murders in our province. Why is this so? Does the MEC know about this, and how are we going to rectify the situation? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Member must indicate that we find ourselves as government, as the people from South Africa, Mpumalanga as well, under the situation where our economy is not in favor with whatever that would wish to become. You would find that most of the people who are involved in this cash in transit are young people who, even if you follow the cases, you'll find that they just take the money for flashy cars, beautiful clothes, partying and all that. But it says, coming back to your question, it says we need to strengthen our intelligence, because time and again they are going to sit somewhere and plan. But these are the time where in festive we experience most of the cash in transit. We are ready, all systems goes. Our intelligence, though we cannot disclose as where they are or how they are operating, but they are there, they are ready for anything in terms of the cash in transit, because it does not only affect Mpumalanga or South Africa, the entire, even in other countries would also be afraid to invest in our country and also think that our security system is very weak. So we're very ready for anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other follow-up questions from other honorable members? None. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. The next question from Honorable Evie Mlombo, ANC, to ask the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport. Honorable Mashego.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable F.V. Mlombo, ANC, to ask the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport. There is a strong positive relationship between road infrastructure development and poverty alleviation. Both direct and indirect poverty-related benefits can be associated with this type of investment. In particular, the investment does not only result in the creation of job opportunities, but also has associated effects on standards of living, market accessibility, community development, and local growth rates. During the taking the legislature in Dr. J.S. Moroka municipality, in particular in Kachibane and Bushbuck Ridge local municipality, which is Ekenhoek and Agincourt, communities raised concerns over treacherous roads in villages. Question 1, in light of the above, can the MEC take this House into confidence as to what happened with such community concerns as raised above? The response is the department is guided in its planning of its capital projects and utilization of its maintenance budget by the Province Road Asset Management System, which we call it RAMS. The issues raised by communities through the taking legislature to the people and other public participation are also considered during the planning processes and are warranted according to the province RAMS, and then prioritized for upgrading from gravel to tar or rehabilitation, maintenance or reconstruction. In Kachibane, the road D935 between Nokaneng and Limpopo border has been prioritized for design, which is upgrading from gravel to tar, and it is done in this financial year with a view for construction to commence in the 2020-2021 financial year. In Bushbuck Ridge, the road between Akenhoek and Hlubukani is being rehabilitated with completion scheduled for August 2020. The road in Agincourt will continue to receive annual routine maintenance intervention. Number two, if interventions have not been made or in the pipeline, when can we see results in the improvement of roads in villages as mentioned above? Interventions are described in Roman figure 1 above, and the impact of the interventions will be seen in the subsequent financial years. Can the MEC shed some light on some areas, villages around the province which require such intervention, and when is the department planning to make such interventions? Honorable Speaker, we are receiving a lot of requests and needs from the communities almost every day. There are protests all over the province in demand of road projects, which is above our capacity in terms of the budget allocated to the department. There are projects that we prioritize out of our plans, a road in Moiplas, which we have done the procurement processes, an award has been made, which was as a result of what I'm talking to, a road in Dludluma, in Nkomazi, and yesterday there was a blockade of the R40 in Bushbuck Ridge, around Castile, the area Sobulani, where they are also demanding a road. So the list is endless. So the demands are coming almost every day and every day. However, due to budget limitations, some will not be possible to be implemented in the MTSF, and they will be prioritized for the future.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think we must appreciate the very comprehensive response from the Honorable MEC. And I must indicate that the reason why we do this, taking the legislature to the people or public participation, is to identify these shortfalls and attend to them. And what we are getting from the Honorable MEC is that it was not a waste of time to go to Kachibane, because the challenge that has been identified is being attended to. It was not a waste of time to go to Bushbuck Ridge, Hlubukani, because the challenge that has been identified is being prioritized in the budget and is being attended to. We want to thank him and any other department that are using the very same approach of ensuring that when we identify a challenge, we attend to that challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any follow-up questions from other honorable members? None. Thank you very much, MEC. The next question is from Honorable J.L. Tabete, ANC, to ask MEC for help. MEC Manzin.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable J.L. Tabete. When Paula Clinic was opened in 1992 as an 8-hour clinic, the population was plus minus 10,000. It started to operate as a CHC after the local mines pioneered its expansion construction and was handed over to the department in 2000. The community services multiplied to the catchment population of plus minus 38,000, and the clinic is struggling to cope with the situation. As a result, the clinic is always heavily congested, hence increasing the waiting period. In light of the above, how did the department deal with a similar scenario in the past? Due to the increase in population, the operational hours of the clinic increased from 8 hours to 24 hours, which include upgrading of the facility infrastructure and providing outreach services to remote areas through mobile health services. Has the department considered adding another 8-hour clinic in a section called Bodlindlala, as it has grown rapidly? There's already a commitment from South 32 Mine to construct an 8-hour clinic at Makause section. Land has been allocated by the municipality, and the clinical brief has been developed. Building design have been approved. How often does the department mobile clinic reach out to remote farms per week to the elders, especially to attend this ward? We can indicate that currently we do have outreach teams that are visiting the household while we are in the process of replacing the professional nurse and plan to restart the mobile services from the 1st of February. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable Member, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Because already the department do have the plan to assist those community to deal with the stampede or the volume of the community are not the same. So, siyabonga ukuthi i-department inayo plan B, and I trust this department. Ungakhuluma nayo speaker yalalela. Definitely, this community will be no longer the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Any other follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Grobler.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable MEC, thank you for the answer. I think I want to agree with Honourable Tabete that we appreciate the work that's done. What I want to ask you is, how's the department's contingency planning going forward regarding staff for increasing communities, medical supplies, medical equipment? Because it's wonderful if there's a mobile clinic or there's a clinic built or there's a hospital, but if you haven't got staff, equipment and medicine, then it's just a building. So how's our plans for that?
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Grobler. We know that in the department there is no moratorium, meaning that as and when there is a vacancy, we do replace as a department. And also we do have some norms and standards in terms of how many professional nurses is expected to see patient per day. Because sometimes, I remember we went to Siabuswa with the premier. When we arrived there, they were saying shortage of nurses. And we asked them, how many patients do you see per day? They tell you 100 patients per day. How many professional nurses do you have? They'll tell you we've got 8. There's no shortage of professional nurses. We understand in other facilities there is a shortage of nurses. Hence, we are able to discuss the matter to say, in the whole country, what is it that needs to be done? Hence, you'll see last year, the National Department gave us some fund to say, fill some of the vacancies that we are having. But if, honorable member, you do your oversight and you see that there's a serious shortage of nurses, you must also indicate to us so that we are able to do that. We have just had a student that graduated from the nursing college, and what is good in the province is that all the students that graduate as professional nurses, we allocate them to the different facilities that we are having. So we don't even leave one of them, meaning that every time when there are graduations, all these nurses that graduate from the province are able to be allocated in the different facilities that we are having. But if there is a crisis that we've come across, Honorable Grobler, you can indicate, because sometimes they are quick to say there's a shortage, only to find that it is within the norms and standards that is expected from those facilities.
Thank you very much, MEC. Any other follow-up question? None. Thank you very much, MEC. The next question is from Honorable G.A. Mufokeng. I did not receive anything from the EFF, Honorable Nyembe. It means that the question also falls off. We are now moving to the next question by Honorable R.J. Sitole. I was informed that Honorable Grobler will stand in for R.J. Sitole from the DA to ask the MEC for education. And the honorable members, MEC Majuba has an emergency to attend to. The questions will be forwarded to you, Honorable, in read before the 29th of November. Thank you very much. We're now moving to the next question by Honorable M. Lachminarine. Honorable Mlombo will stand in for her. I've received that request from the ANC to ask MEC for Finance, Economic Development and Tourism, Honorable Manzini, stand in for Honorable Ngomane. Over to you, MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question is, the economic growth and job creation in the province will get a significant contribution from the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone as it was approved and granted by the National Executive on December 2018. What is the state of readiness for the implementation of this project? The department, together with the development partners, completed the feasibility phase of the Nkomazi SEZ and now implementing the interim phase, where after the development phase will commence. Highlights of the key interim phase activities that must be pursued and prescribed by the SEZ Act are as follows. The establishment of an SEZ entity. In terms of SEZ Act, the SEZ entity is responsible for the development, management, and operation of a licensed SEZ. Appointment of an SEZ operator. The SEZ Act requires that the SEZ entity must, through a competitive bidding process, procure the services of a competent SEZ operator, which on behalf of the SEZ entity will develop, manage, and operate the SEZ. And the SEZ operator implements the SEZ strategy and plan. Development, management, and operating the SEZ. Once the strategy and plan has been approved by the SEZ entity board, the SEZ operator will focus on the design of the SEZ infrastructure, attract investors into the SEZ, build SEZ and enabling infrastructure, and factory building, generate revenue from various services offered by the SEZ investors, and ensure financial sustainability of SEZ in the medium and long term. Before the SEZ entity is established and fully capacitated, the Department of Economic Development and Tourism has requested MEGA to fulfill the role of SEZ entity in the interim and has assigned the following roles and responsibility to MEGA. Ensure the timeous establishment of the Nkomazi SEZ entity as per the SEZ Act, applicable regulation and other legislation. Re-establish the Nkomazi SEZ Program Management Unit by procuring the necessary capacity to support the PMU, ensure the PMU is well-resourced and able to discharge its responsibility, and initiate the development of Nkomazi SEZ strategy guided by the department. What will be the involvement of small business and cooperatives in the whole value chain? As its heart, the Nkomazi SEZ must encourage economic transformation of the provincial economy, and this is further enhanced in the letter of designated received from the Minister of Trade and Industry, in which it specifically states, I quote, "The zone must comply with the BBBEE and employment equity legislation, in particular economic inclusion of black emerging farmers, local sourcing, and black economic participation along the agricultural value chain," unquote. It will thus be of critical importance that industrial clusters in township and rural areas of the province are linked to the Nkomazi SEZ in order to ensure the development of SMME cooperatives in various supportive industry. Linked to this will be extensive training and incubation program to ensure that our people, especially women and young people living in these rural areas, can participate in the mainstream economy of the province. In addition, we'll work with all the role players, such as Nkomazi Local Municipality, in identifying the cooperatives and the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs to provide support for the smallholder farmers to ensure that we comply with conditions set out in the letter from the Minister. What will be the contribution of the Special Economic Zone on our fight against poverty and unemployment? The Nkomazi SEZ is expected to greatly benefit the people of Mpumalanga, especially those people who reside within the Nkomazi Local Municipality, as they will enjoy not only the indirect benefit, but many direct benefits as well. The SEZ is designated as a multi-sectorial industrial zone focusing on agro-processing, covering citrus and subtropical fruits, aromatic plants, grounds, and tree nuts. Further to this, the refining of nutraceuticals, milling, and processing facilities for various agricultural commodities will be established. Various agro-related support industry like fertilizer production will also be accommodated. The Nkomazi SEZ has set a 10-year development horizon, and according to the feasibility study, it will contribute the following to the provincial economy. A direct GDP contribution of approximately 96.6 billion. More than 100 new businesses will be sourced through the investment pipeline over the period, and an export contribution of more than 40 billion is expected. More than 8,000 jobs during the construction phase, and ultimately from the companies operating within the SEZ. As a result of the Nkomazi SEZ, the agricultural sector will be stimulated to increase its annual GDP output, thereby stimulating multiple indirect jobs throughout the agricultural value chain throughout the province. The Nkomazi SEZ will also have a profound impact on the area of Nkomatipur. Over and above the expected economic impact, it is also envisaged that over the development period of the SEZ, an additional 10,000 houses will be built in the area, which in turn will require extensive investment in the basic services such as water, sewerage, electricity, and road infrastructure that will lead to a cleaner, safer, and healthier environment for the community. Linked to the expansion of the integrated human settlement will be required community services like education, health sector, public transportation, and safety and security. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, MEC. Honorable Mlombo, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much for the response, very comprehensive response from the Honorable MEC. I serve in the very same committee, Honorable Speaker, and I would like to encourage the department that the economic activity of the SEZ should, in fact, we must work, all of us, we must work towards ensuring that the economic activity of the SEZ is realized during this 6th administration. It is true that Nkomazi is one of the areas with high unemployment rate, and this SEZ, its aim and purpose is to be an economic stimulus that will grow the economy of that area. So we'd like to encourage the department and the portfolio committee to ensure that we speed up the process. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mlombo, for the comment. Any other follow-up questions from other members? None. Thank you very much, MEC. We're moving to the next question by Honorable J.J. Skosana from the ANC to ask the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport. MEC Mashoko.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable J.J. Skosana from the African National Congress. Taking the legislature to the people provides communities with direct access to their public representatives. Section 118 of the Constitution of the Republic places an obligation on all provincial legislatures to facilitate public involvement in their lawmaking and oversight functions. In 2018, the community of Mpumalanga local municipality raised an outcry over potholes to an extent that they term potholes the pride of Mpumalanga. Question 1, can the MEC shed some light on what happened since the community raised outcry on potholes within this municipality? The response is the department intervened through the municipal support program and patched some of the major roads in the municipality during the 2018-2019 financial year. Can the MEC give an indication of the extent of the yellow fleet within the municipality and explain why this problem is persisting? The response is there is a plant for road maintenance in Mpumalanga belonging to the municipality and also our fleet in our cost center. The main cause of potholes in Mpumalanga is that most of the major roads have reached their design life and traffic volumes have increased substantially from when the roads were constructed. The roads now require rehabilitation or reconstruction. Honorable Speaker, patching of potholes is a temporary solution which is not cost effective. All the potholes that we have patched during the dry season, with a lot of rain that is falling now, we are going to face a challenge. As I alluded to the fact that it's not something that is permanent. What is the department going to do in assisting this municipality in whichever possible way to deal with potholes? And what are timelines where change or improvement on the state of the municipality roads can be expected? Unfortunately, this financial year, we don't have any budget for municipal support. Members will recall that during the State of the Province address, the Premier made a pronouncement about the paving of streets, which we have taken 60 million and transferred the money into that pronouncement, and during adjustment we were just given extra 40 million to come to the amount of 100 million which the Premier spoke about during the State of the Province. And I want to put it on record that we only come in to assist. It is not basically our mandate to get into the municipal streets. But when we do have budget, we look at the challenges that our municipalities are facing and come to their rescue. But this time around, the municipality will have to budget for those challenges.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable Skhosana, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It's not a follow-up question per se, but for the assistance that the department has offered to that municipality, to us, we appreciate a lot, but we must do something in order to supplement the resources that they have, because that municipality and others, it seems they've got a challenge to deal with the issues of potholes in their areas. But in our assistance, I should think maybe they can go somewhere. But we appreciate the assistance that the department is given to that municipality. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. It's a comment. Any other follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Nyambe?
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable MEC, as you have already alluded that that road has reached its time, is it in the MEC's plan to plan for rural roads? Because they are in the same predicament. Rural roads and some of the national roads. Apeshiwe apeshwa baba, aloga kiwa government we apartheid. What is the plan of our current government? Because those roads have already reached their timeline. Is there any budget in the pipeline for that? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Well, we will have to give some lessons to the Honorable Member Nyembe. And we will be patient, we will always educate our people. If you'd have listened to me, I spoke about road construction in the rural areas. I spoke about a road in Moiplas, that is purely a rural area. I spoke about a road in Kachibani. I spoke about the road in Hlubukani. I spoke about the road in Dudluma. That shows that our service delivery is biased towards the previously disadvantaged communities. Now, there are roads that are being maintained by SANRAL. And those roads that are maintained by SANRAL are what you call your national roads. We were in, you remember recently, we were with the minister on the Moloto Road corridor, where the Department of Transport in Gauteng was transferring the part that is in the Gauteng jurisdiction to SANRAL, because we as Mpumalanga and Limpopo, we did that in July 2015. So Gauteng was just following the pattern. Now, indeed, that's why in our budget we have what we call municipal support, and which I alluded to the fact that we put some money, but due to the pronouncement and the budget constraints, Cabinet then decided that that money that we put for municipal support must deal with the pronouncement, which will continue. If our budget allows that we plan and budget for the municipalities, we'll do that. But you must understand that we are doing that because we are not a federal state. And we are doing that in terms of the implementation of the Constitution in relation to cooperative governance. And we are saying the responsibility squarely lies with the municipalities. But because we are the provincial sphere and we understand the challenges that our municipalities are facing, hence, when budget allows, we'll always intervene. And we'll continue to do that. But that depends on the pressures that we are having. We've got a lot of pressures. We'll see how we play around to make sure that we assist where possible.
Thank you, MEC. Any other follow-up question? Honorable Grove Morgan.
My follow-up question to the MEC is, most of our roads, as we know, are damaged by these heavy ore trucks that pass through, especially the municipal small towns where there is no bypass road. I would like to know, can the MEC in his department intervene, let these all companies, because they make a lot of money and using our roads and damaging them, can your department intervene and make these companies be part of rehabilitating the roads? Can we do something like that from your department? Because already Tabacheo local municipality has negotiated with the company of Chrome and they are helping them with the roads. So can we do it in the other towns as well? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Well, a very progressive proposal, Honorable Rovia. We have started with the executive mayor of the district in Nkangala. We are finalizing a joint interaction with the mines around that district so that we can bring them on board. And I want to lobby you as the opposition voices. There is a possibility that the National Treasury might withdraw the coal haulage grant. I'm lobbying you so that you can make submissions. You can make submissions to the National Treasury and prove in terms of factual evidence what will happen when National is going to withdraw that coal haulage grant. That can assist us in making sure, because it is our responsibility collectively as the Mpumalanga Legislature to make sure that services are improved in the province. So your voice can add weight in making sure that the National Treasury doesn't withdraw that coal haulage grant, because through coal, the whole country relies on Mpumalanga for energy. And that might create a problem, but we take note of your progressive. Again, I want to reiterate, and I'll appreciate that all of us, when we participate in this type of debates, we rather than being destructive, we become constructive so that we can be able to change the lives of our people.
Thank you. Any other follow-up question from other members? None. Thank you very much. Oh, Honorable Mlombo, sorry.
Honorable Speaker, is not a question, but I want to correct something on record, because the information that we're discussing here becomes public knowledge for public consumption. The question that has been asked to the Honorable Member does not include the issue of potholes being the pride of Emalahleni. I think we must be on record to say that that part of the question is not, has been removed, is not part of the question any longer. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Mlombo, for that. Honorable MEC, thank you very much. We are now moving to the next question by Honorable NP Mkabela, EFF, to ask MEC for Culture, Sports and Recreation. MEC, Honorable Njali.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also acknowledge the Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Chief Whip and Deputy Chief Whip, all our MECs, the Honorable Chair of Chairs, all our chairs of Portfolio Committee, leaders of oppositions, EFF, DA and FF+, all our members of the legislature, our guests in the gallery, and our senior managers. The question from Honorable the question from the Honorable Member to the Department, Honorable Mkabela. It says, community sports played a huge role in keeping people fit and healthy, especially at the local level. The department can identify talent and groom them until they play professionally. The province has no sports academy. Our black communities remain behind because there's no proper facilities and sports program funded by government. As in Mpumalanga, we had our 3 rugby players who participated in the World Cup. As the province, we cannot take ownership of them, such talent, because we have not invested in their development. MEC, we are aware that most managers in your department have no passion about sport. Hence, we have very few blacks offered opportunities to go into the mainstream sport. The first question, given the above scenario, what are the plans for the local communities to actively take part in sports and culture? Our response, honorable members, is that we want to confirm that players that represented us in the province were 5, not 3, honorable member, in the World Cup. And I would want to draw the attention of the members that we have our first one, that is your Francos de Klerk, known as FAF, who participated. We've got Duan Verlam, who's from the province, Sibusiso Nkosi, Kwacha Smith, and Trevor Nyakane. They are all from Mpumalanga, and they started their rugby careers in the province. We also want to correct the misconception that our province cannot take ownership of their talent because they've not invested. We want to say, as the Department of Sports, we're also involved in terms of making sure that we invest in our players from the grassroots level within our schools program. Would want to raise and draw the attention of the honorable member that Duan Vermeulen was born in Nelspruit in 1986. He attended school in Warskol, Nelspruit, and has been part of our schools program and has participated on the Pumas during 2005 and 2007. Hence, we're saying we can claim them. And also Faf de Klerk is known in the province also, was born in the province in Nelspruit, and also while participated in a school sport is part of our government, because we're one government, Warskol, Waterkloof in Pretoria, but also his youth career also, and play also go senior in the Pumas, which is in our province. Want to draw your attention again to Sibusiso Nkosi, Sibusiso Romeo Nkosi, born in Barberton High School and GP High here in the province, participated in our school sport under 16, and also participated in various tournaments in Barberton High till grade 10, and also participated in 2012 in Pumas, so we can claim him. He's our own. Kwacha Smith, born in Leidenberg, Mashishing, participated in school sport in Warskol, Technis, and Melberg. He participated in youth career in Pumas, in Mpumalanga, and also played for Herald, Herzog, Technis School, Le Ewitbank, Nasemittelberg, and also Kuma under 18 squad who participated. So they are our kids. Trevor Nyakane, born in Bushbuckridge, one of our own. We know Bushbuckridge was part of Limpopo. It was our Mpumalanga. Then they went to Limpopo, then came back. Hence also he participated in school sport in Limpopo in the top rugby school and Benfester. And Limpopo, Bushbuckridge municipality is back in our province. So they are our boys. Therefore, we're saying as a department, as a custodian of sports development in the province, the Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation will take full ownership of these players who were developed at grassroots level within our schools and within our spheres of government. The department contributed through school sports development programs and community sports initiatives for our school, out of school communities at the primary and secondary level. Therefore, school sports programs are rolled out in partnership with the Department of Education. The participation of these learners to date is recorded at 10,856 against the target of 10,650. In winter season school sports tournaments, the sports tournaments are held at schools, circuit, district, provincial, and national level. The National Winter Games were held in KZN. I was standing in this very same podium when we said our kids from Mpumalanga, they've excelled. These programs are ongoing, and the province will participate in the next summer games that is planned on the 9th to 13th December in Gauteng, Pretoria, and our kids will be part of that. And as a department, we are so involved. The department also ensures that that it provides support like your coaching, training, medical and scientific support to the athletes who represent the province. In addition, equipment and attire is also provided to selected schools and clubs. I think honorable members have seen us, we've been distributing soccer kits, you name them, all sporting codes to various schools within our province. In relation to our community sports, total number of 43,147,000 against the 41,500 people actively participated in our organized sports and active recreation events. That includes your indigenous games, where the province participated in the games in Polokwane, and the following codes were one that they participate, Dibeke, Diketo, Tristokis, Intonga, Jukske, Murabaraba, and Ingo. The province attained position 5 out of the 9 provinces. Our rural sport program, the province coordinated 70 teams from traditional council, which also participated in football, athletes, rugby, and netball. These programs were concluded with the provincial rural sports games that were held on the 2nd of November 2019 in Dr. J.S. Moroka. The National Recreation Day and the Big Walk, we hosted it in the province in Bombela Stadium to promote healthy living style. Our provincial sports awards, both men and women who excelled were motivated through their accolades where they were awarded in the provincial sports award. These sports programs goes a long way to identify and nurture the talent from far-flung areas in the mainstream of sport. The second question was that does the province have council that works and regulates the different sporting codes, and what is the level of the departments involved? Our response is that as a department of Mpumalanga, we have worked with the Mpumalanga Sports Confederation, which control and regulate all our sporting federations in the province. The province confederation is constituted by sports federations and our local sport councils. These provincial sports confederations are affiliated to the South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee, that is your SASCOC. The Provincial Sport Confederation is fully functional as it's been funded by the department to run its office and implement all the related programs that they run. The third question, are there any plans to have a state-of-the-art sport academy wherein public and private sector can invest? Our response to that question is that yes, the province envisage having a state-of-the-art sports academy where both public and private sector can invest. The department can have a long-term plan to establish high-altitude training center at Emakazeni local municipality. The department is working with the National Treasury to finalize the process of soliciting the PPP funding. In the interim, the department have 3 regional academies which they have staff that assist through the scout talent. The selected participants are then handed over to the contracted private sector facilities such as your LOMAT, which provides scientific and medical services for local athletes. In addition, a mobile testing unit is also used to reach athletes in each and every corner of our province, especially in rural areas. In order to mitigate shortages of sports facility, service level agreement have been entered with 5 sport-focused schools that got advanced sports facilities. Some of them, best performing learners are given bursaries from these facilities. The following notable achievements coming from this facility, it's Nolwazi Masha, who participated in an African championship, who obtained 2 gold medals for long jump and triple jump in Abidjan in April this year, 2019. Christelle Grill, who participated in our Paralympics in Mexico, 2016, a great achievement which allowed athletes to be exposed on an international competition. Was saying these are the response, we are involved. We might have challenges in terms of the funding that we're having from nationally, but as a department, we are committed and we want to do away with the wrong perception created that our officials from the department, they lack passion, they don't work. They do work, but our resources are limited. Hence, we draw in even other people to come and assist. You have seen where we've requested sponsors like your MTN and others to also contribute in coaching clinics and making sure that our people from the deep rural also receive attention. But we must do away with the thing of saying our blacks are not prioritized. We cannot take sport to be more divisive because sports is the only language that unites people and that builds social cohesion. We really thank you, honorable members, for the question raised. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, MEC. Honorable member, do we have a follow-up question?
Honorable Speaker, let me welcome the progressive responses from the Honorable MEC Njali. Akuna ti question ka leswi anga vula swona then in hlamule kahle she elaborated too much on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Na cancer, Madam.
Thank you, Honorable Mkhabela. Any other follow-up questions from other honorable members? None. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. We're now moving to the next question. Honorable RJ Sitole, stand in by Honorable Grobler to ask the MEC for safety, security and liaison. Honorable Shabalala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The question is it was from RJ Sitole to the department. With regard to security risk, which continue to plague Mpumalanga healthcare facilities, can the MEC indicate the following? Question 1. How much does the government spend on security services at the various healthcare facilities in Mpumalanga? And the response, the department is spending 27,386,550 per month on security services at various healthcare facilities. The next question, can the MEC explain which department carries the cost for the security services at the healthcare facilities? The response, the Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison carries the cost as per the budget is appropriated to the department. Question 3. Does the healthcare facilities in Mpumalanga have armed guards at all times? And respond, all hospitals and community healthcare center which are operating 24 hours have armed guards at all times as per the specification. It is only the 8-hour operating clinic that are not having armed guards. Question, the last question. The Honorable Premier announced that the department shall install 10-style security gates, metal detectors, and digitize the security system in all healthcare facilities. Can the MEC state how long will it takes before this is implemented, and what is estimated cost to this project? And the response, in our last question, would want to state that the issue of security is dealt with 3 departments, which is the Department of Health, especially on the health facilities, and the Department of Public Works, as well as Community Safety. In this regard, as per the engagements that the Premier has announced that we should implement this, I must say that There are long terms and short terms. I'm sure on the short terms, the department has already installed a system in these new hospitals, but all this cost will lies with the Department of Health as well as the Department of Public Works or the Transport. Ours is to monitor the systems after they've been installed. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, MEC. Honorable Grobler, any follow-up question?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Yes, MEC, thank you for your answers. I think they were quite comprehensive. I just want to know if the adjustment budget the department was allocated another 5 million. Will you plan to use that for security at our healthcare facilities or not?
Honorable MEC.
Thank you so much. Yes, we do have plans, but I must say that, remember, it's during the end of the financial year. Obviously, we'll deal with the limited project that needs that attention, but in the next financial year, the Department of Public Works will be dealing with the installation together with the Department of Health, and then we'll then continue with our monitoring in terms of the systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Any follow-up questions from other honorable members? None. Thank you very much, MEC. We are now moving to the next question. The question by Honorable Hlophe will be responded to in red, as I indicated earlier on. We are now moving to another question, question 45 by Honorable Mlobo from the ANC, to ask the MEC for Finance, Economic Development and Tourism, stand in by Honorable Manzini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable Evim Lombo of the ANC asks, in the spirit of transforming the economy to serve all the people through intervention that promote developmental growth path to create more decent jobs, the Honorable MEC together with the Honorable Premier recently visited Oman to secure trade deals for the two countries. What can the people of Mpumalanga expect out of the secured trade deals between the two countries? Mpumalanga is, in essence, a rural province, and the agricultural sector remains an important conduit to address the developmental challenges that are faced by the province. The agricultural sector is characterized by two distinct segments, namely the highly specialized commercial segment producing for a national and export market, and the magnitude of smallholder and land reform farmers producing on a non-commercial basis for local markets and household food security. Commercial farmers are already exporting, and the provincial government aims to partner these farmers with small and emerging farmers to equip them for the export market. The Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market and its associated agri-hubs currently under development will create a required infrastructure for smallholder farmers to access formal, local, regional, and international export market. The province has the ability to produce the required commodities to supply the Sultanate of Oman through linking the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market with the food hub at port of Soha to access the local Omani market and other Middle East as well as Far East markets. Further to this, the province could provide investment opportunities in its land reform farms by facilitating contract farming through partnership with local communities. Other areas of cooperation and knowledge sharing within the veterinary and research and development field of agriculture can also be further explored. The Mpumalanga Provincial Government will thus enter into an agreement with the Ministry of Agriculture on the areas stated earlier, and that will further encourage our farmers to enter into direct agreement with buyers within the Sultanate of Oman. What kind of impact may the trade deals make to the economic development in our province? It is important to note that traditional export markets for South Africa are changing, and our province is exploring the Middle and Far East as new markets to ensure the continued growth in the agricultural export sector. The province has a competitive advantage with the Maputo hub and the Richards Bay Harbour on the eastern side of the country to service the growing Middle East and Far East markets from Mpumalanga. The province has, in terms of production quantities, a competitive advantage on the following identified commodities: grains, citrus, subtropical fruits, macadamia nuts, vegetables, sugar, red meat, white meat, animal feeds. In this regard, our black and emerging farmers have to be certified in terms of global gap to ensure they can export their surplus produce to these lucrative markets. The impact of these trade deals will stimulate the production for the guaranteed market of mainly fresh produce like vegetables, citrus, and subtropical fruits, thereby creating an environment where especially black, small, and emerging farmers will be in the position to access funding to move from the small and emerging level to the commercial level. It is also foreseen that these lucrative markets, by virtue of guaranteed offtake agreement, will also contribute to getting our land farms back into production, since they would have production schedules to satisfy the demand of these markets. The assistance of the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform and the Provincial Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs in this regard remain crucial in assisting our small and emerging farmers with some of the elements of production until they can stand on their own. Can the Honorable Embassy explain about the plan to create export opportunity for our local products? In 2012, the Mpumalanga Provincial Government adopted the Mpumalanga Economic Growth and Development Path as a framework aimed at guiding the development trajectory of the province. That is stimulating economic growth and creating more job opportunities. The MEGDP targeted approximately 720,000 sustainable job opportunities to be created over a 10-year period. That is approximately 70,000 job opportunities per annum. For the province to reach this target, it requires an economic growth rate of 5% annually. Foreign direct investment and trade should thus be central to the province in achieving the above-mentioned targets. The Mpumalanga Growth and Development Path also has industrial pillar, which focuses on industrial development that needs to be realized in order to develop local value chain and all to exploit our natural resources for the benefit of the residents of the province. In response to this, the Department of Economic Development and Tourism has developed the Mpumalanga Industrial Development Plan, which is supported by the Provincial Trade and Investment Promotion Strategy to promote FDI and exports. Trade and investment, both domestic and foreign, are essential companion to the systemic industrial policy like MIDP. Access to global markets gives countries the opportunity to specialize in areas of comparative and competitive advantage and allows resources to be put to their most productive use. In this regard, the benefits of international trade and investment includes increasing national and regional provincial income, raising productivity and stimulating employment, thus creating much needed local jobs. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable Member, Honorable Mlombo, do you have a follow-up question?
Honorable Speaker, I don't have a follow-up question, but I think the department should, they can submit that in writing. I think we should do an assessment of the economic impact of the FDIs in the province, which is the foreign direct investment, in terms of the number of agreements that we have signed, in terms of the impact, in terms of the economic growth, in terms of the number of jobs that have been created by the FDIs. It's not a question for response today, but I'm thinking loud beyond Oman, beyond our visit to Oman, but in terms of our visit to other countries, what benefits do we achieve? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mlombo, for that comment. I will check if are there any follow-up questions from other honorable members?
Maybe I
None.
can respond to what he said. In our last cabinet, we have looked at all the agreement that we had with the different countries. And we're doing exactly what you are saying. The assessment if whether are they yielding any positive results for the province and which agreement are we going to renew moving forward. So that exercise has been done by cabinet. So what you are requesting, Honorable Mlombo, is exactly what we are doing at Executive Council.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Thank you. We're now moving to the next question by Honorable Sedibe. It falls off. Question 46. Moving to the next question by Honorable Tim J. Rovem again to ask the MEC for Community Safety, Security and Liaison. MEC Shabalala.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, once more. The Honorable Member was concerned about issues of security again. She indicates that to the department, safety, security and liaison, concerning crime of serious nature in the province. Will the MEC answer the following questions? Question 1, how many cases of rape have been reported in Mpumalanga in 2017 and 2018? And this will overlap to the next question. And of the above reported case, how many perpetrators have been charged of a crime of rape, and also how many have been successful in terms of being convicted? Honorable Speaker, the response goes as follows. In a financial year 2017-2018, we had 2,554 cases that were reported, and then we have made successfully arrests. That was 1,567. And number of convictions were 374. 2018-19, it was 2,752. The number of arrests was 1,663. Number of convictions were 333. Moving to the next question, which is Roman figure number 3. Is there any discrepancy between the reported cases, those charged with an offense, and those convicted of a crime of a crime? If yes, why is that? The response is, yes, there is. Some arrests reported for the particular year are not for the year the crime occurred, pending on the length of the investigation. Maybe to also elaborate on that one, you will find it difficult, especially on cases of statutory rape, wherein you need to prepare the child needs to be ready to talk to only social workers, because obviously the child is underage. So all those processes also prolong the cases. Question 4, what is the police response time to crime against women in the province? Then the response, the South African Police Service response to crime complainants are based on the variety of the crime and classified into alpha complaint, crime in which is in progress, require immediate police response or action. Another one is Bravo complaint, complaints that have already occurred. The third one will be Charlie complaint, a crime of a less serious nature. I'm sure I have indicated a very well honorable member. That is Alpha complaint, Bravo complaint, and Charlie complaint. These are the three responsive time. Below the response time for the South African police in the province, it's been categorized as such that Alpha it's 1844, Bravo it's 2156, Charlie it's 1913. And I think, Honorable Speaker, that will be all of the questions.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable Member, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My follow-up question to the MEC is, how is the MEC going to ensure that crimes against women in the province are prioritized? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Speaker, once more. Not only the province, I think even nationally, our government has prioritized issues of women abuse was zero tolerance in the province. We've got programs was launching 16 days of no violence against women this coming Thursday, which we're trying to teach our people that it is important that if they are in the relationship that is abusive, they need, because you can see indications, you need to come out of the relationship. But basically, based on your question, we've got programs, educational programs that are going to teach our people. But again, we're going to arrest any man that is abusing our women, our beautiful women in the province, who are very much serious about it. So we've got programs and we're following cases such, we're prioritizing such cases. So we'd want also to send a message. We'll be all over in our media, in our newspapers to talk about this, because we know that it happens during December, where our couples, they will fight for financial challenges, where you'll find that the other part has got money and doesn't want to reveal the money, and they'll start fighting. Or alcohol is also playing part when they have parties and all that. But we are going to be very, very, very tough this coming December in terms of such cases.
Thank you very much. Any other follow-up questions from other honorable members? None. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. The next question is Honorable M.T. Makarenge. Honorable Mlomo stand in for him from ANC to ask the MEC for Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you very much, Speaker. The question from the honorable member is talking about programs that are implemented in most areas in the province, and is saying that Malahleni remains a great concern. Farmers from areas like Klipfontein, Ian Samheid Farm, and Harte Beersfontein Farm are desperately in need of help. Is the MEC aware of the adverse condition of those farmers that are mentioned above? Well, the response is the department is aware of the adverse condition faced by the farmers, especially of Ian Samheid Farm. The other farms, as noted, are under Gauteng province. It must be noted that some of those farms are in Gauteng, which is not our jurisdiction as a province. The whole area, including Ian Samheid, has high prevalence of fire incident irrespective of number and size of fire breaks done by the farmers themselves. This is due to the place experiencing relatively high level of winds that are running very fast. In addition, small holdings in the area have overstocking of livestock, and thus most livestock are in a very poor body condition, especially in winter. This is despite the advice given by the department extension officers on livestock management and capacity building through training. And Speaker, kubalulekile ukuthi sisho ebantwini bakithi ukuthi if ufuna ukusizwa i-department ne-provincial government, especially at the level of agriculture, you must know ukuthi thina we have educated people that can test the soil, extension officers that can advise you ukuthi what to breed and at what time. But you find some farmers that are arrogant, that want to do as they wish. And in that case, as a department, we're not going to invest government money in something that we know that it is not going to be successful going forward. Are there any plans in place to help the upcoming farmers in Emalahleni to properly develop their farming skills? And the response is yes. The department has plans in place to improve the farmers' farming skills in that particular area. If yes, can the Honorable MEC give us an information on that? And our response is, the department is currently implementing learnership program in a various skills, including the farm mechanization, livestock, and crop production in collaboration with National Skill Fund at Marapiane Farmer Training Center. And I ngisho-ke lana, Speaker, just to inform everyone ukuthi njengoba sekuhlangana lama department at national level, i-view ne-vision ya-minister umama uThoko Didiza ukuthi as provinces sivule alethe back ma-colleges ya-agriculture. Kusho ukuthi the thing yalama training centers will be something of the past, because besithi as Mpumalanga ma-training center lawe esiwakhayo sibalekela lokuthi i-Department of Higher Education will come into the space ithathe over lento yethu. Well, if yes, can the Honorable give us information on that? The information is that the department is currently implementing leadership programs. As I've said, in the current financial year, I must say 12 of the participants are from Emalahleni local municipality. How many agricultural projects do we have in Emalahleni municipality, and how are they sustainable? There are 9 projects in the municipality that has been supported by the department, and a total of 400 farmers. 85 of these are subsistence producing farmers, and only, subsistence for producing. And 314 are smallholders farmers, and 1 is a commercial farm. That is in Emalahleni. And some of the questions I will encourage you to, when we ask them, we first do more research, because it doesn't help that we will come here and explain something that, you know, is obvious, was put in a report in black and white, and members are aware of. The following are projects that were supported. And I will really appeal that members are taking down these statistics so that you are able to do comparison when you do oversight. Pet vegetable project was supported with infrastructure and advice and are currently producing vegetables and access to market at fruit and vegetables. That is pet vegetable project. Dlamini project was supported with 11 pigs under Masbuyele Sibayeni program. However, recently this farmer had to scale down production due to the outbreak of swine fever that affected prices in that particular area. Kabini sheep farming was supported with 26 sheep under Masbuyele Sibayeni program. Currently, sheep number has doubled from the initial stock supported with, and continuous vet services are provided. Moniwa project was supported with land care services. The farmer is practicing smart farming in Nkangala region and is a winner of a Nation Awards, Junior Land Care in 2018. Department has placed 2 graduate students in this farm to be mentored. Mashaba farming is supported with mentorship and advisory services. Mhlokonyo project practices livestock farming and supported with extension and advisory services. Winner of National Award for Emerging Red Meat Producer by ARC 2018. Department placed 1 graduate student in this farm for mentoring. Naha project practices crop farming only supported with extension and advisory services. This farmer is self-sufficient with implements, and department has placed 1 graduate student on the farm for mentoring. Job lesson project, which is in Ian Sam Hate, that is in Ian Sam Hate. Practices both crops and livestock farming, and department support with extension and advisory service. Malinga project practices livestock farming and was supported under the RECAP program through Department of Rural Development and Land Reform and department support with extension advisory offices. All the above projects are sustainable, and we must mention, Honorable Speaker, that sometimes it is good to repeat these questions, Honorable Pim. So Honorable Speaker, ngijwayele ukusebenza no-Premier. Kuyaye kube kuhle kakhulu kuyi-repeata lama question phambi kwabantu bakithi, so that when we speak, they listen to this achievement of a provincial government and be able to interact with what we are saying here. Because, Speaker, I must mention also in front of everyone, abantu abakhala kakhulu ngokuthi government ayinikeza ama-support, especially ku Department of Agriculture. I don't know to other departments, boza kwethu bangasho bona. Yinaba abantu esibanikeze le support kakhulu. Yiba bakhala kakhulu ukuthi support abayitholi. Bathola amatragela, bawabeke kibo, bawaredisela abantu, bathola inhlanyelo, bayithengise eVictor Khanye in particular. Bathengisa inhlanyelo, ubanikeza inkomo, bayayihlaba bazidle. So yibo labantu laba bakhalako babhala lana bathi manje government ayisupport. Funa sihlalele kusupport umuntu munye or abuse government. Thina we account to a legislature ngale mali. Noma inkomo sengakunika 3. Funeka sibuye la. Bomhlonishwa bomlombo nabo Sikhosana. Babuye bazosibuza ukuthi ziphi inkomo ezi3. Sichaze ukuthi uyidlile loyo bathi wenzeni nakadlile. Uthi simbophisile bathi ukuliphi ijele sizoyomhlola. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable Member, do we have a follow-up question?
MEC, there is no follow-up question, but I think I like the closing words that MEC to say the reason why we're asking these questions is for the benefit of the people of Mpumalanga. irrespective of whether we repeat them or not. But the people of Mpumalanga want to know as to whether this government is delivering in terms of the services or not. And this is exactly the process of reporting back to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mlombo. Any follow-up questions from other honorable members? None. Thank you very much, Emisa. Okay. We're moving to the next question. Honorable MC Masilela from ANC to ask MEC for Human Settlement. Honorable members, I will yes, I'm going to remind you in terms of the rules. It's 2.5 hours. We have started at 3:15.
Oh, okay.
We are still on time. Thank you. Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. In a question from Gomhloni Chumaslela Lana. Honorable MEC, there is a clarion call for the formalization of rural and urban squatter camps in almost all our municipalities. There is also a desperate need to build RDP houses to eradicate these squatter camps. Question Yokala Uti, is the Honorable MEC aware of the increasing squatter camps in both our rural and urban areas? Indeed, as the MEC, I am fully aware that upscaling the upgrading of informal settlements remains government priority in the current medium-term strategic framework period. As such, at the level of the province, the prevalence of informal settlements has been reported in both rural and urban settings. As the MEC responsible for the creation of sustainable human settlements, I fully understand the gravity of the situation of the ever-increasing of informal settlements in both rural and urban areas. In this regard, the Provincial Department of Human Settlement is using the National Upgrading Support Programs to intervene in 129 informal settlements located under Ehlanzeni District, Hartsibande District, and Nkangala District Municipality. The second question, how far is the formalization of these squatter camps in the above-mentioned areas? In a sense, the process made in the formalization of informal settlements in the mentioned municipal areas of jurisdiction is at various stages of development. In this regard, it should suffice to indicate that the nature of the province's intervention is threefold and aimed promoting an incremental upgrading and strengthening coordination with other relevant stakeholders and partners in order to ensure a programmatic approach to in-suit upgrading. The province's intervention entails the following. 1, the identification, assessment and verification of the existing settlements with the intention of developing upgrading plans and sustainable livelihood plans for all the informal settlements that have been verified. In this regard, a total of 93 informal settlements fall under this category. All verification informal settlements being subjected to the statutory processes entailing initiating the land acquisition, township establishment processes, and the installation of interim service and construction of top structures, all of which are key to formal townships being established and underlying land or settlements being registered and proclaimed as a legal township. In this regard, a total of 37 informal settlements fall under this category. And lastly, it is
is the full settlements upgrading, which includes detailed township formalization, installation of permanent municipal engineering services and construction of the required social amenities and the delivery of title deeds to qualifying beneficiaries. In this regard, a total of 16 informal settlements fall under this category. Roman figure 3, are there any plans in place to build more RDPs houses, especially in rural areas, as we have seen in Steve Tshwete municipality? The department has pledged its commitment to Mpumalanga residents to build 100,000 housing opportunities over the MTSF period. In the 3-district area, to ensure access to well-located housing opportunities. In this regard, almost half of the 47 being new mega integrated human settlements being established and undergoing project packaging happen to be located in not just the about to be declared priority housing development areas, but also rural municipalities such as Bushbuck Ridge, Nkomazi, Dr. J.S. Moroka, Tembisile Hani, as well as non-PhD ACE municipalities such as Dr. Pixley Isagaseme, Mkondo, Chief Albert Lutuli, and the Paliseng municipality. The last one is, what challenges are there in the total eradication of squatter camps in our rural and urban areas? It is impossible to refer to the total eradication of informal settlements. However, the municipality need to enforce their bylaws on illegal occupation of land in order to avoid the illegal occupation of land which results in informal settlements. Last, sikhuluma ngama-municipalities, but with due respect, Honorable Speaker, allow me ukuthi ngisho ukuthi namakhosi analezi nduna lapha phasi. Angiwadelela amakhosi mara analezi nduna lapha phasi abasikhosela lama squatter camps la kuma-municipalities. There is not one challenge associated with the total eradication of informal settlements in rural and urban areas, but a number of interrelated factors that have arisen as a result of the emergence of informal settlements. These are, but not limited to, the following: population growth, rural-urban migration, lack of affordable housing, urban management, economic and social opportunities. I thank you.
Thank you very much, MEC. Honorable Nasilela, do you have a follow-up question?
Ngibonge Somlomo. Welcome my responses from the Honorable MEC. Indzaba yemikhukhu noma masquatter camp inkinga lekhulu kakhulu ngoba ekugcineni ba bridge electricity, ba bridge manti, bomasipala bethu bakoloda Eskom, labanye bakweleta i-rent water. It's because of lama illegal shacks. Kuyafuneka ukuthi i-Department ye-Human Settlement ne-Department ye-Cooperative Governance nabo masipala basebenzisane. Sibonge kakhulu lokhu sikubonile si-Portfolio Committee lena Steve Tshwete. Lena Steve Tshwete bane plan yoku-eradicate lama shacks. Mundu matholile i-RDP, the shack yakhe is demolished. But kulabanye bomasipala le plan leyo ayikho. Siyacela kakhulu ukuthi lama department o2 nabo masipala babambisane ku benchmark kubuka ukuthi Steve Chwete benda njani kuze kuthi bakhona kuphumelela kuze kuthi si provincial government uma sithi senda i-service delivery ngempela lenguquko iyendeka. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for a comment. Any other follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Grobe Morgan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. A question to the MEC. Presently, we have a housing backlog which would take roughly 20 years to eradicate. What impact do these emerging squatter camps have on the housing backlog? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Bonga Speaker, a question go Honorable Morgan. La masquatter camp asikhosela vele inamba enkulu kakhulu yokuswelakala kwezindlu, but lokho ngeke si kuvimbe. Ekhaya kithi sing4 siyakhula song4 siba nabantwana abantwana bethu baba nabantwana vele kufanele sibe nenamba enkulu yokuswelakala kwezindlu esizama ngamandla wonke singovernment ukuthi siyinciphise. That's why sithi kule 5 years yethu sizozama ukuthi 100,000 units sizame kuziyenza bese nakwenye financial year emisolandelayo ngiyacabanga ukuthi uzayenza iplan ukuthi sizame kuyiminimize wona vele asikhosela inamba enkulu. Yebo.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Any other follow-up question? None. Thank you very much, MEC. We're moving to the next question. Question from Honorable NP Mkabela from AFF to ask MEC for Social Development. MEC Shongwe.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question comes from my friend, the Honorable Mkabela. It reads as follows. The Premier in the July SOPA committed and pronounced that the department will build 157 ECD centers and equip them with necessary e-learning. Can the MEC respond to the following questions? 1, how many ECD centers have been planned or built up to so far? Please indicate per district. And the response is as follows. The department has built 13 ECD centers in the province since 2014. No ECD centers have been built in the current financial year, 2019 to 20. They are spread as follows. Ehlanzeni 5, Mbombela 2, Nkomazi 2, Bushbuckridge 1, Nkangala 5, Dr. J.S. Moroka 2, Tembisileani 2, Emalehleni 1, Khajisbandi 3, Chief Albert Lutuli 1, Msuga Likwa 1, and Likwa 1. Question 2, how many has been budgeted for such, how much has been budgeted for, for such facilities? The department has not budgeted for the construction of ECD centers in the current financial year. My friend will also remember a pronouncement by the president that ECD will move to education. So I think in future she will direct the question education so that she can be updated how far are they in terms of planning for the ECD function that they will inherit from DSD. How is the department going to choose which communities receive such infrastructure? And the response from the department is as follows. We are guided by the outcome of ECD audit report, which indicates areas where there is a dire need for ECD infrastructure. Most of these are in rural areas. Then question 4, is the department going to prioritize rural areas when rolling out the project? It's a good question, Honorable Member, because yourself and myself are coming from rural areas. The department is guided again by the ECD audit report. We don't just pick and choose areas where we want to build. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Honorable Member, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And in Nashudi, Honorable Shongwe. I think the question there the ECD's education. I think these questions came before we went to the portfolio committee because I remember you clarified it there in that portfolio committee. Thank you very much for the response.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Any follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Grove Moken.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to find out, I know the MEC has mentioned it, that the ECD centers will be going to Department of Education as pronounced by President Cyril Ramaphosa in his SONA speech of 2019. My question is, when will that process take place? Can you give us a timeline? Because we're going to a new year now, schools are starting. When will that process take place? I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for that question. It's a process. We're working together with the Department of Education. So we're going to update members in the portfolio committee about the time frames, but it's not something that is going to happen next year. It's a process because as the department, we are doing audits now of all the ECDs that must be handed over to the Department of Education. So we will come back with a report in the portfolio committee and ultimately to the House. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Any other follow-up question? None. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Honorable members, the time set aside for questions for oral reply has expired. In terms of Rule 104, Sub-Rule 3, the members of the Executive Council whose questions have not been responded to at today's sitting are requested to submit written responses to my office not later than Friday, the 29th of November 2019. That concludes the business of the day. Let me acknowledge invited guests, although others have left. Bushbuck Ridge, Tabacheu, Goma Zimbombela, Steve Chwete, Emalahleni, Chief Albert Lutuli, Dr. J.S. Muroka, and Msuwaliko. You are all requested to remain standing at your places until the procession has left the chamber. The House is now adjourned until the 6th of December 2019 at 10 in this very same chamber.